local sports. Peachtree Sports Network. This is the GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title.
Friday nights mean high school football in Georgia, and tonight the drive for the GHSA state title, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com, brings us to Harrison High School, where the North Paulding Wolfpack at 5-1 get ready to take on the Harrison Hoyas at 6-1. Hello, everybody. I'm Brandon Adams. Happy to be joined alongside recruiting insider Rusty Manziel. You know, for North Paulding, it's a story that we see a lot around the state of Georgia. Don Stark, tremendous head coach, very successful in Florida, travels now to Georgia, where he's also having great success. This is a fun team to watch. Region champs a year ago. Also a high-powered offense led by a terrific wide receiver.
You see these out-of-state coaches trying to look for these communities that have great support and players, and North Paulding certainly checks those boxes, and it starts with Javarius George, this wide receiver, 2024. I feel like under the radar. We've had him a couple times in the Georgia League Classic. A couple of weeks ago, he got into Walton pretty good. Tonight, Harrison will know where he is on every play.
Of course, longtime observers of high school football in Georgia, they know the name Harrison High School because that's the school that produced Justin Fields. Originally at Georgia, then at Ohio State, now the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Well, since then, the Harrison Hoyas program has been terrific even without Fields, and it's another good quarterback for Harrison who makes that offense go right now.
It seems like all the time, every year, Harrison has a good dual-threat quarterback, and they've got another one in senior Braylon Ford. Can make all the throws, can hurt you with his feet, but has a big enough arm to throw it in behind you if you come up on him. So tonight, he will be the focus of that North Paulding defense.
The weather's going to be a challenge tonight. Both these coaches have to deal with that. And speaking of two outstanding coaches, our Kaylee Manziel is standing by with both of them here right now.
And as always, welcome to the U.S. Army pregame show. I am Kaylee Mansell, and with kickoff coming up shortly, it is time for our R.S. Andrews head coaches interview. This week, I am joined by Josh Cassidy of Harrison and Don Stark of North Paulding. As you are the visiting coach, you will go first. I feel like in high school football, you learn a lot about your team through losses. Your team lost a very tough game to Walton a few weeks ago. What did you learn about your team through that loss?
Well, they're a quality opponent, and you know, we learned that we need to control the line of scrimmage if we want to have a chance to beat quality teams, and that's what we're looking to do tonight.
And Coach Cassidy, Harrison has gotten off to one of the best starts the program has seen in recent years. What makes this team different?
Yeah, anytime you talk about what makes a team or an organization different, it's the people. It's our coaches and our players and those that support them. So it's our coaches and our players that make it different.
And Coach Stark, you're coming off of your bye week. How do you keep your team motivated when they come back to practice? What's been the message?
Well, we show them the tape of Harrison, the couple games they played, and the fact that they're doing so well, and that's the main motivation.
And Coach Cassidy, I know that you have an outstanding senior group, but I want you to give me a younger player or an underrated player to look out for in tonight's game.
Yeah, I mean, I would list all of our juniors and sophomores because here's what I can tell you. You single out one kid, but all of our guys are putting forth effort. Now, it may not come out on Friday night because what they do is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, you know, you take your pick. I'll let you pick tonight. I'm going to pick them all, every 10th and 11th grader we have.
Awesome.
I can give you a couple.
Yeah.
Well, Coach Cassidy, Coach Stark, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you both the best of luck. Stay dry out there, and guys, make sure to stay tuned because kickoff is coming up shortly.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Are you 18 years of age or older? Become a star. The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is now hiring for deputy sheriff with a signing bonus up to $4,700. They also have civilian and trades positions available. If you are interested in a career with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, visit gogcso.com to learn more about compensation, incentives, benefits, and areas where you can start your career today. Are you ready to rise to the call? Join GCSO today and become a star.
America, come along with our adventure seekers and discover summer with Ford. Join friends Maisa and Leslie on an epic adventure with the capability of the Ford Bronco Sport. Head out with the Stevens family and stay connected with built-in Wi-Fi in the Ford Explorer.
You know that horse is sweet standing up?
Road trip with the Sanchez family and available hands-free highway driving in the Ford F-150. Now get 2.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $4,500 cash back on select Ford SUVs. See your local Ford dealer and discover your best summer ever.
For the GHSA state title is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today.
And welcome back, everybody. Drive for the GHSA state title presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Of course, we're live here on the Peachtree Sports Network. You see the Harrison students having a good time and getting ready for a fun game. Big region action here between Harrison and North Paulding. And, of course, both these teams meeting on the field for our coin toss presented by George's Rome. You'll see Harrison in the green with the white helmets, North Paulding in the navy blue. Both these teams share navy blue as a color. And you'll also see that Harrison's going to get the ball to receive the game here today. That coin toss brought to you by George's Rome. We'll also take a moment to check our weather presented by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. And the picture tells the story there. It is raining. 62 degrees, little bit of breeze. But the big story here is off and on throughout the night there has been rain. But, Rusty, it's also a field turf stadium, surface here. So in terms of a huge impact on the outcome, you probably shouldn't see that, right?
No, light rain tonight, and you see these kids practicing a lot. And the one thing, the biggest advantage, period, is maintenance to a turf field. But the second biggest advantage is how quick it can dry out and absorb this kind of stuff. So I don't expect it to be a big factor tonight. Very light rain. And in fact, I heard somebody in the box behind me say they expect this to move out here shortly.
Both these teams have lost once this season. For Harrison, that was a week ago to McEachern. For North Paulding, that was a game earlier this season against Walton. Walton right now obviously a contender for the state championship in 7A. McEachern, one of the heritage programs in Georgia. So neither of these teams have to apologize for their lone blemish here at the moment. And both very much alive here in the chase in Region 3 of 7A. Of course, North Paulding won this region a year ago. In the case of Harrison, these were the 2019 state champions back then in what was the second lowest classification in Georgia. It would have been called 5A then, back then when there were only 6 classifications.
Crazy. They beat Allatoona that night in the pouring down rain. You're talking about two schools about 5 miles apart that played for the state championship. It was raining a lot worse than this is tonight. I can show you that state championship night.
We're going to see Aiden Noble get ready to kick things off for North Paulding. This is really, both these teams have a long history of very good specialists. A lot of big-time college guys on both these sides here. Mike Travelstead, a terrific coach working with special teams, and it's a short kick, going to be returnable there at the 25-yard line. Looking for a block, 35, not getting much more there, but pretty good field position to start on the return there by Matthew Traster. And that is where Harris will get the football to begin things.
Good job there. Noah Scott, senior defensive back, in on the tackle for North Paulding.
So it's Braylon Ford, the quarterback. What a great year he's had. And a guy that, and we see this a lot, Rusty, you're talking about a couple of really good Division II offers coming the way of Ford, but a night like tonight could propel him into a different category of college offer.
TV game, we've seen it before. Big opportunity for him. 2024 quarterback, uncommitted right now.
Ford from the shotgun will throw. That's going to be a pass completed, then tackle made right away. Nice job, Danny Pitts, the outside linebacker, coming over to make the tackle on Amari Watson. You see the starters for Harrison on offense. Of course, Ford's a name to watch, but keep your eye there as well.
No doubt.
Good collection of wide receivers, including Brady Clues on his way to Memphis. That's a guy they're going to look to get involved all night long.
Saw him at a paddock camp this summer against Houston County, Milton, some of those other schools. They had problems covering him.
One of the things that Josh Cassidy, the Harrison coach, will also say, too, is after a couple of years in which they didn't feel like they ran the ball as well as they'd like to, they feel like they've been much more successful here this season. Speaking of running, it's going to be Ford keeping it himself, and he's going to cross midfield. Get up near the 40-yard line there. So a nice run by Braylon Ford, showing that he not only does it through the air, he can do it with his legs as well.
What I love about this play is he climbs the pocket, gets up the field, but he moves the ball to his outside arm to protect a hit.
North Paulding defensive starters, once again presented by the Georgia Army National Guard. You'll notice two men with the same last name, Ethan and Aiden Maddox, twin brothers here, arguably the top two defensive players for a Wolfpack defense that has had some success this year. Harrison content to keep it on the ground right now. Carry goes the way of Xavier Hill. Hill's a guy we'll see run it in a traditional set like that and also catch the football as well. You see the numbers on him. Kind of almost like a Deebo Samuel style player.
Yeah. Hard to believe you look at that stat through 7 games. That means we're on the 8th game for Harrison. That's crazy.
An amazing
thing.
We
were just at the Sheriff's Bowl.
It seems like that. The season goes by so fast every year, and if you contemplate that long enough, you realize our lives are going by pretty fast too. Speaking of coming up fast, good coverage that time. Matthias Johnson, the cornerback, almost jumped that route, had a chance to intercept it.
That's the best inaccurate throw Braylon Ford's thrown all year, because if he throws that on the money, it's a pick 6.
Yeah, too high is not too bad in a situation like that. And now we're looking at third down for the first time today for Harrison.
Got to watch Ford here with his legs. See if they spy him with a middle linebacker standing in the middle of the field. Somebody's got to account for him and his legs.
Ball rests at the 39. Ford's going to go down. He looked like he might be trying to run that, but he didn't have a chance to. And one of those brothers, Ethan Maddox, and really his brother Aiden right there with him there as well, the two Maddox twins, as advertised on that third down play, both appeared they got to Ford, the quarterback.
Yeah, they sent Ethan. They sent Aiden, and Ethan was the spy. You see Aiden come in and get the sack. His brother, number 8, was the spy in the middle of the field. Good job by the Maddox twins on that first drive for North Paulding.
You talked to Coach Don Stark, really raved about both those guys here this week, saying there's college interest coming their way, but not enough schools pulling that trigger yet. He's, as a lot of coaches would be when you have two good players like that, kind of flummoxed by why it hasn't happened. High punt there by Gleason. Going to bounce inside around the 13-yard line. So good field position there. Let me correct myself. That's Simon Zeaton, who was the punter there for Harrison. Took a nice bounce on the high kick, and that's going to really pin back North Paulding here as they go on offense for the first time. And get a chance to see Javaris George, who Rusty told you about in our open. Wonderful wide receiver.
You better watch him now. I'm telling you, he can take a little bubble screen. He can take it to the house. Better know where he is in every set because he's got top end speed. See him in the slot.
You see the numbers he put together against Walton, a state championship contender earlier. Tyler Neer is your quarterback. Just 5'7", 155 pounds. He's fun to watch at that size because of how much success he's able to have. Nice running play as well up to the 29-yard line goes Calvin Scott. Pick up about 16 there. North Paulding starters on offense, presented by the Georgia Army National Guard. Scott, we just saw, near the quarterback we've told you about. Javarius George, that's a high college prospect there at the wide receiver spot. And a young offensive line that's also had great success. Trent Mahaffey's a sophomore that starts there. But this is a group that's coming together here after losing 3 seniors off last year's team. Neer takes the snap, going to dump off the screen. Scott had a hard time holding on to that, but finally gets it, but is going to lose yardage on the play. Nice job by the Harrison defense, and Quentin Charles over to make that stop. And speaking of the Hoyas on defense, we'll take a look at their starters, presented by the Georgia Army National Guard. Of course, good collection of linebackers there. Ethan Harris, a name to watch there. Ethan Sweat there, too. That's a converted former tight end over there playing in that spot. So a lot of depth for them there. Also, number 99, Colin Bellamy's a defensive end, supporting a offer from Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
so,
like what I see out of him. Already a P5 offer, and expect that to rise. They go man-to-man. You see the motion. See if it hits George here.
Yeah, Neer going to roll right. That's a pass caught. It's Braden Autenreith, the tight end. Who brings that down.
Yeah, they bring 10 on a little drag route, bootleg action. 10 drags back across, but good job by Harrison there to keep that to a minimum gain. Brings up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, looking at third down now. This is a North Paulding offense that likes to move it and push it down the field. Of course, they'll need to convert here in order to be able to do that. Harrison shows you a lot of bodies near the line of scrimmage and creeps another one up here right now as well. Javarius George goes in motion, now comes back and sets himself behind the receiver on the left side. Now throwing, trying to connect with his tight end, Autenreith again, but this time Autenreith could not hold on, and Harrison has forced a 4th down.
Almost the same play. They just flip it without bootleg action. The tight end drags underneath the coverage there. The ball just a little bit in behind him. They'll have to punt it.
We'll get a chance to see Oliver Wisenhunt onto a punt here. That's a tall guy, tall for a punter.
We've been seeing some big kickers. Cartersville last week, Ryan Johnson was another one.
That's a good point.
6'4".
Wisenhunt, much like Johnson last week, has a chance to be a college athlete. Now, Johnson, last week for Cartersville, on his way to play baseball at Georgia. Wisenhunt, perhaps on his way to be a pretty good prospect here as a punter, and we'll see why here in a moment. Oh, the snap goes through his hands. It's a wet football, folks. Keep that in mind. Can he pick it up? He does, and he takes a big hit and goes down inside the 5. Quentin Charles. Ty Hartsook there to make that stop after the botch on the punt, and Harrison's going to have amazing field position after that.
Well, it might be a wet football, a little bit high. Maybe should have got it, but picked it up, tried to pick it up. It was too late then. Harrison converts, and man, big negative play on special teams.
Lonely feeling for that punter, and it sets up Harrison right at the doorstep of the goal line. We'll show you the Hoyas on offense after a quick timeout.
Attention military personnel, families, and civilians who were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987. If you or a loved one lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune, call the Victims Justice Group now. You may be entitled to significant compensation. The U.S. government recently passed a law allowing servicemen and women, their family members, and civilian workers who lived or worked on the base at Camp Lejeune for at least 30 days to seek justice for injuries caused by toxic water. If you or a loved one suffered injuries associated with the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, including bladder, kidney, or liver cancer, multiple myeloma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's disease, adult leukemia, or aplastic anemia, call the Victims Justice Group now. Our attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve for your pain and suffering. Military personnel, their families, and civilian workers who served, lived, or worked at Camp Lejeune from August 1953 to December 1987 may be eligible for compensation. Don't wait. Call our helpline now.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you are on the fence about ordering McDonald's, consider this a sign.
Mix and match a double cheeseburger, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, or small fries for just $3.69. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And we are back, and you see Harrison right there in the shadow of the goal line after a big play on special teams on what was a botch punt for North Paulding. Hoy is on the ground on first down, getting ever so much closer to the goal line there after a toe for Colin O'Hara, senior running back.
You're seeing a comeback of the T formation. You see 3 running backs in the backfield. Somewhere, somebody's blaming that on Mike Bobo for being this coming back. T formation's back, and Mike Bobo's getting blamed for that somewhere. Look at that. Look at him lined up splits. Go shotgun out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing about Harrison. They're going to give you a little bit of a blend here. Now it turns into like a pitch play once again to O'Hara, and O'Hara's going to score a touchdown. And the Hoyas strike first, and they take the early lead. Colin O'Hara.
Nice play design. They seal off number 8 from North Paulding, and there's no one else there that can contain. He walks in the end zone. Really like that play design.
Yeah,
short yardage.
This is a Harrison team that's going to combine some of that, you might call it like a wing T type concept with more of like the spread type stuff. It's really a nice blend of a couple of different offensive styles, both really run to great effect. You see a red-hot Peachtree Ridge team on top of North Gwinnett right now.
How about that?
Our Breda Pest Management score ticker. Also all knotted up right now between Buford and Mill Creek as well. But here in our drive for the GHSA state title, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com on the Peachtree Sports Network, we've got the Hoyas on top 7-0 over North Paulding right now. And while we have a chance, let's also tell you about the Rome River Jam, returning to the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds. October 21st and 22nd, you can come jam with your favorites, including headliners Parker McCollum, Bailey Zimmerman, Laney Wilson as well. You can also enjoy performances from Tracy Lawrence, Chase Matthew, John Langston, and a whole lot more. So plan your fun and get event details at romeevents.org. That's romeevents.org. Wouldn't mind being there for that. That sounds like a great time.
Next weekend, yeah. We got the Hall of Fame next
Can't
weekend.
wait for that.
It's going to be exciting. Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame inducting our second class next weekend down at the College Football Hall of Fame next Saturday night. And you can go to scoreatlanta.com and buy tickets, but it's a great event, man. There is some big time history going to be in the room that night.
Scoring summary brought to you by Breda Pest Management. Just 2 plays, 5 yards, a couple of runs for O'Hara. That's the sum total of that drive as the Hoyas strike first. Once again, that brought to you by Breda Pest Management. Low kick here, rolling into the end zone. That's a touchback.
That's a good job there because it kept George from getting a return, and he has hurt people in the return game.
One thing that Don Stark said this week is that Harrison has been good all year long at getting those touchbacks. And Rusty, on a game-to-game basis, I really don't know there's any better weapon than limiting that field position.
Especially in high school, man.
To begin an opening drive in the high school level for sure.
That is a
because
huge weapon.
We joke about this all the time, on a kickoff, if it doesn't go to the end zone, anything can happen. It can be a touchdown, it can be a fumble, it can be an onside recovery. I mean, it is just a game of roulette for the most part. Tyler Neer back out there again. Ball sits at the 20, 7:28 to go, first quarter of play. High snap, Neer gets it, hands to the running back. Scott going to find his way up to around the 23 that time, maybe 24. So 3 or 4 on first down for Scott. Scott's battled some injury. Really he and Jaden Clayton were kind of supposed to be the 1-2 punch. They really haven't had that tandem fully healthy all year long. And tonight, Clayton, the senior, not expected to play. So part of the story for North Paulding this year has been an injury at the running back position. Near again, the handout to Scott. Scott almost leaped over, man. Got up to the 35, and that's going to move the chains. Pickup of 12 that time, and the Wolfpack's on the move.
Good job there getting north and south. North Paulding, a little bit of success here early running football right at Harrison. See what Harrison, if they adjust to this. Nice block by 9 and 10 there for North Paulding.
You talk about success running north-south. That's also a little bit of what McEachern did to Harrison a week ago, and that's something that Josh Cassidy told us about. Pass complete now, out of bounds and up to about the 42-yard line. Javarius George getting involved there, and what a kind of amounted to like a wide receiver screen.
You just get him the ball. I mean, don't overthink it. Just put the ball in the hands of your best playmaker out in space, and he picks up 8 yards on first down. Nice, easy play. Just get it to him.
And Don Stark, the North Paulding coach, did not shy away from the description that Rusty just offered. By far, our best playmaker, he called George. Tight end moves, and now Neer going to throw complete. Moving the chains again. Ball sits at the 48-yard line there after a strike to Dubé Inajin.
With all the focus on George, I just watched the safety over the top. George is in the slot. He clears him out, and it's a wide open, easy pitch and catch there. So when George is not the primary receiver, he is still affecting the play.
This is kind of what North Paulding does. Balanced. You see the tight end going to move again to the right side. He's kind of shifted from spot to spot here the last couple of plays. They're balanced. They spread it around, and they move down the field. And right now that's what Tyler Neer's got him doing. Another high snap. He gets the ball to Scott. Scott makes a man miss in the backfield, but then tracked down from behind. Ethan Sweat, the linebacker, looks like he was in on that one.
Ooh, that's a nice move there, but good job by Harrison just tracking that down. And one thing I've noticed about North Paulding, man, they got a lot of motion. Every play, they're motioning somebody to try to see what you're doing on defense.
Is that an indication of zone man?
That's an indication, yep. You either want to flip-flop the strength of your offense, or you want your quarterback to see what kind of coverage they're in and who goes with that guy.
Ball sits to Harrison 48. It's Autenreith, the tight end, moving again, kind of like an H-back here right now. To throw, middle of the field, wide open, and it's a touchdown. 48 yards to Javarius George, and North Paulding strikes back.
telling you, man, he's got top end speed. He's got great hands. That was a great ball too, Brandon. I mean, he hit him on the absolute money.
Yeah, that's a quarterback, 5'7", 155 pounds. And
He might be 5'7", but
yeah,
I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't matter because he can deliver it on the money. That was a perfect shot.
So that's going to bring on Aiden Noble to try the PAT now. And we're a point away from a tie game. It's a low snap, and the kick is still good. So good job by Scott, to the holder, to recover that low snap and get it in place for Noble's PAT. And with that, we're tied. And we're having a good time tonight on the Peachtree Sports Network, and we're glad you're with us.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
The Mechanical Trades Institute is an opportunity towards personal financial freedom through hands-on and rewarding work. Our school is completely free and gives apprentices the knowledge and skills required to gain access to a lifelong career path. Apprentices learn pipe fitting, plumbing, mechanical service, and welding. They earn money as they learn and graduate with no student debt. Start a career with the Mechanical Trades Institute and change your financial future.
The Forum River Center in Rome, Georgia is now open and available for meetings and receptions. We're fully equipped for large conventions, sporting events, weddings, and much more. The Forum is located downtown within walking distance of local restaurants, hotels, and boutique shopping. We offer a variety of meeting spaces, many with beautiful river views. Outdoor venues are available for that special touch with our adjacent parking deck and a personal concierge on site. Your event is sure to be a hit. Find out more at forumrivercenter.com.
Struggling with food insecurity can feel lonely, yet every community across America is affected by hunger, which is why our Kroger associates work together to rescue nutritious food that would otherwise go to waste in an effort to donate 3 billion meals by 2025. Because we believe everyone should have access to fresh, delicious food. Join the Kroger Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation to defeat hunger and eliminate food waste.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by Score Atlanta, your source for Georgia high school sports. HendrickCars.com. Get no payments for 90 days at HendrickCars.com. Experience the Hendrick difference. Sports Turf. You bring the vision, we'll bring it to life. The Georgia Army National Guard. The next generation is now. And by Ford. For great offers on F-150, see your local Ford dealer.
We are back. Brand new score, 7-7. North Paulding on a 48-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Neer. Javarius George will make that part of our Breda Pass Management scoring summary. In total, it's 6 plays, 80 yards, 2:38 off the clock. And a high kick, returnable 20-yard line. Shaking off a big hit, then driven out of bounds. That's where Harrison's going to go back on offense after the return by Xavier Hill.
See if Harrison gets back to their run game here a little bit. Had some trouble protecting forward when he dropped back. They get back to their run game a little bit here and try to move the ball.
"7-7 is our score. Harrison going to show you 4 wide receivers. 2 bunched on the right, slot there to the left, man wide on the left side there too. Pass complete, 35-yard line. Amari Watson, senior wide receiver, over to make that catch. Pick up a 4 on first down.
Well, Paulding brought an extra defender there.
You see Harrison content to be deliberate with it. Ford jogged kind of over to the sidelines. The numbers on Watson this year pretty good. Both these teams kind of have guys that they feel like they can throw to and run with, kind of versatile type players. Similar offensive firepower with both these teams.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That
Correct.
penalty gives us a chance to check in on our game officials presented by the Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association. You see a look at those there, including Darius White, our electronic clock operator, and Andy Hall's got the play clock duties for you here tonight. You see the ponchos out on the sidelines as well.
Said snap infraction, so if the center moved the ball there, or he moved.
Either way, Harrison will move back after the penalty. Now looking at 2nd and 11. Handoff. Nowhere to run. North Paulding builds a wall right there at the line of scrimmage.
Man, Danny Pitts, senior linebacker, fitting that run up, and that's what you want to see out of these guys. And right now, they've been kind of unable to run against North Paulding.
Yeah, having a hard time matching that physicality right now, and that's going to put Harrison in a 3rd and 11 situation. 5 across for North Paulding up front. Here they come. Time to throw. Ford going to have to hurry now, though. Finally just throws it out of bounds.
I'll tell you what I love about that, Brandon. North Paulding kept him into the pocket, and they didn't run by him. He has nowhere he can't. Look at 95, keeping contained. That's a great job. He can't step up. He can't go to the outside. And when he finally breaks contain, he just has to throw it away. But you can tell that's an effort by North Paulding. Listen, don't rush up the field because Ford to take off on you. Good job of maintaining your lane as you rush up the field.
Good defensive sequence from North Paulding. Brings out Simon Zeeden back on to punt. Zeeden gets a high one off here. Fielded there at the 35-yard line. Up to the 40. Hard hit after that. And North Paulding going back again on offense after the return from Javarius George. We'll also take a moment to say hello to our friends at Breda Pest Management and all the folks in the Atlanta area getting served by Breda, because here in our area, you may not have known this, but we got flying squirrels here in Georgia. They're called southern flying squirrels. And critters like this, especially this time of year, love to get into your attics and basements where they're protected from predators. It's also nice and warm up there this time of year, too. Keep that in mind. Well, if you hear that scratching in your attic, don't draw straws. To see who's going to go up there, just call Breda Pest Management. BREDA, BredaPest.com. That's BREDA, BredaPest.com. One thing I can tell you is Rusty Manziel is not going up to his attic to look for flying squirrels.
No,
Slam down on 1st down. Big tackle there by Colin Bellamy, the junior defensive end.
Yeah, nice job. Gets off of the block and then finishes up with a tackle for loss.
Big play there.
Big young man as a junior. I'm telling you, this class of 2025 in Georgia has got some defensive linemen. It is deep, and it is deep with big men.
A lot of programs already looking ahead to those lines of scrimmage in Georgia. Handoff goes to Xavier Walker here, and Walker's going to be hitting the backfield, and all of a sudden now it's Harrison's turn to start flying the ball back there in the backfield.
I'll tell you what, Ethan Sweat, senior linebacker right there, number 8, flying around early on for Harrison, sideline to sideline.
It's a former tight end transitioning to the linebacker role and doing so now as the team's leading tackler. So you always like it when guys leave the offensive side, go to the defensive side, and find that kind of success. Fun battle in Region 1 tonight between Colquitt County and Camden County. 13-7, Packers on top right there.
You reckon there was some tailgating there today?
You better believe that's the case.
They got bracket coverage on Georgia. See that? See if one gets the ball.
That's on the left side, and they use it for the nice screen route. You know, you call it a rub route. Defensive players call it a pick play, but either way, it creates the opportunity for Austin Nagy to come over and make the catch.
You can see that coming because they're bracket coverage. So watch. He clears it out, and he just runs that little skinny post, basically a little in route, slant route. No one's there because that safety is over the top on number 5. Great play design.
That's a well-designed play, and Rusty did a good job calling it out and describing it, too, because the attention on George clearly created that moment for Nagy.
Yep.
McEachern, who beat Harrison a week ago, on top of Marietta right now, 7-0. Looking at 1st and 10 now.
Blitz.
Neger will take the snap. Going to throw. Shows that arm strength more. Had his man down the sideline. Could not connect with Calvin Scott, though.
Tell you what I like about that. He recognized the blitz coming from the safety, and he knew that he was one-on-one on the edge, so he took a shot.
Near just a sophomore, too, by the way, in addition to being a little smaller than sometimes you expect quarterbacks to be, also a younger guy there as well. Of course, we saw 2 sophomore quarterbacks a week ago, too, in our game of the week. And replaces Boone Anderson, former very successful, prolific passer here with this program. Graduating a year ago.
Yeah, he played a great game last year against Walton. The game we had, it went down to the wire.
So I had some travel for my day job that particular weekend. It was the weekend that Georgia was playing Missouri, so I did not get a chance to call that game. You called it without me.
Yeah.
And there's about 100 combined points. When I found out how thrilling the game was, I was so sad to have missed that.
Whew, that was a double coffee night.
Coming near the end of our first quarter here, once again, more of this pre-snap movement that's kind of the hallmark of the North Paulding offense.
Man, look at the motion from this team. Every play. Blitz.
Near going to throw again. May have slipped as he threw. He may have lost his footing as he was trying to deliver that football. Marcus Taylor, the senior wide receiver, was the intended target, but I'm not quite so sure that Near had a full plant on that one as he delivered it.
Yeah, good job picking up the blitz, too, there by the running back. And ball just sailed on him just a little bit, but I'm telling you, he's got the right read. That was the hot route. That's who you want to throw that ball to. Just missed it.
Thus far, I've been very impressed with Tyler Near at quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that Don Stark told us was he has a big challenge tonight because Harrison shows you a lot of multiple looks on defense. They're varying their defensive look, which obviously gives quarterbacks a lot to think about. Now, remember, we saw Wisnant have trouble with a punt earlier and end up setting up a Harrison touchdown. They brought pressure for the block that time, but Wisnant able to take the snap, get it away, and flip the field here for North Paulding.
If Harrison can get anything going right now, they have been unable to run the football. Other than Ford getting loose one play on a scramble, they kind of corralled them up a little bit. Turnover turned into points basically on a bad snap for Harrison.
So Ford back at quarterback again. He's going to hand it off on first down, and another thunderous hit right there at the line of scrimmage for North Paulding on the defensive front. It has been tough sledding up the middle with that particular play as our first quarter now comes to an end. Tie game. Both teams have had some nice plays on both sides of the ball, so I think we're settling in here to a pretty good football game and some beautiful shots of the rain here tonight as well. We'll be right back after this on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Yeah, dude, that doesn't look good.
I know what to do. I'm going to cashnetusa.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, I can have the money as soon as the same business day.
Go to cashnetusa.com to apply for the money you need.
Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes presented by Ingalls. I'm Chris Bainbridge, and each week we're bringing you one of the best to ever play high school football in the great state of Georgia. This week, our athlete takes us to Athens and Athens High School. As a junior, Fran Tarkenton led his football team to the state championship in 1955. During his senior year at Athens High, he was named All-State, not only in football, but baseball and basketball as well. After graduation from high school, Tarkenton went on to UGA and led the Bulldogs to an SEC title. He went on to NFL fame primarily as the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. At the time of his retirement, Tarkenton owned every major quarterback record in professional football. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1986. Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes presented by Ingalls.
If you are on the fence about ordering McDonald's, consider this a sign.
Mix and match a double cheeseburger, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, or small fries for just $3.69. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And we'll be back for more.
After the first quarter, I'm here with Coach Stark right now. No doubt the conditions factor into the game. What would you tell the offense just then, just what you've seen so far?
We're doing well. You know, both teams are playing in the rain, so it doesn't really affect us. We're built for all types of weather. You know, we gave them a free one on the punt, on the missed catch. So we just got to keep playing.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck in the second quarter, and we'll be back for more.
Thank you so much, Craig Sager Jr. and Coach Stark there as well. And he's right. You know, it's raining pretty hard, and you can obviously see that in certain camera shots. You can see it right there. Yeah. The ponchos are out. You can see the rain coming down.
It's a constant miss.
It's a constant miss.
Irritating.
And it's making the footballs wet. Yes. How much of an impact do you expect that to have the rest of the way?
It might be as the night goes on. Those balls are going to keep getting wet. You can dry them as much as you want, but.
Ford shakes free of some pass rush, but not shaking free there. Finally brought down at the 27-yard line. Danny Pitts, one of the guys in there on that stop.
And there's pushing the pocket back. Good job by Ford to get anything out of this because he has no time right now. This front seven from North Paulding is winning the battle early on.
So now we're looking at a third down. We'll call it 3rd and 6.
See if they bring pressure. They've brought pressure on every third down so far.
Watson goes in motion. Ford rolling right. Going to dump off middle of the field. Pass caught. And looks to be first down yardage there for Brady Cluse. Our first time to see Cluse, the Memphis commit, getting involved in the offense for Harrison.
They got to get him going. That's their guy. But you can bet North Paulding, same way with George, got some extra attention on him. But that's their playmaker. That's their difference. They got to get him going.
See the numbers, and it's a good comparison. North Paulding has found the big play for George thus far, and now Harrison will want to do that with Cluse. Going to throw wide side of the field here. Pass complete to Mari Watson. And Watson going to move the chains himself again as he gets up to the 44-yard line, and all of a sudden the Hoyas are on the move offensively.
Nice job. They call this the rail concept. 2 wide receivers run off the coverage, and the running back just comes out in a flat.
Just underway, second quarter action here. Game tied. Harrison trying to change that. They've got Cluse by himself here on the left side of the formation.
Coverage is way off of him.
Instead, they're going to do the handoff up the middle, and that's a big hit once again on Watson, the ball carrier. And
see what, these Maddox twins, they get their money's worth.
Teeing off. My goodness, I wish the Braves would hit that hard.
Oh, man, don't even. Don't get me into my soft conversation about our group right now, because I'm gonna need a couple days, Brandon.
I feel the pain. I really
do. We got
do.
Throat slashed. They're wearing T-shirts, mocking us, and after the game, I mean, somebody needed some chin music.
You know, going up to Nashville for the Georgia Vanderbilt game tomorrow, and kind of planning where we're going to be watching that game. 5.
Oh man!
Come to find out, those plans are all for naught. All right, clock stops here. Flag comes in.
Official timeout. The play clock is inoperable. We're going to keep the play clock on the field for the remainder of the half.
All right, so the play clock will be kept on the field. How much of an inconvenience is that for the offensive players, quarterback in particular?
Not too much. It'd be for us, but not for the players, because the referee will tell you when it's down to 10 seconds.
Okay.
Yep. He'll look at him and give him a 10 seconds. So.
Man goes in motion for Harrison.
Good protection.
Ford with time. Now left side trying to get a block.
Yeah, you want to see him turn that one loose, because one of the few times tonight, Brandon, he's had time. Good job by the offensive line that time, and just decides to tuck this one away. And
Xavier Hill did a good job, by the way, of avoiding getting a block in the back right there.
He did, absolutely. Brings up a 3rd and 9 right here.
Hill, going back to the summer, was not established as the starter. You can call it, I don't know, you call it quarterback controversy or not, but there was certainly some debate around the program about who the starting quarterback would be. But it's Ford who emerges there, trying to connect with Cluse again on 3rd down, and Cluse not able to come up with that. Matthias Johnson had the coverage.
ball just a little bit out of Cluse's reach. Stick route, go to the chains, turn around, just a tad bit outside.
So that'll bring on Simon Zeeden on to punt again.
Doesn't have George back this time, do they?
Yeah, he's got Alex Carlisle back to return this punt. So we saw Javarius George earlier, but it's Carlisle this time. Ball bounces the 20, takes a Hoya roll inside the 15. So the wet conditions not impacting the Harrison special teams right now. Zeeden does a good job pinning him pretty deep back there, and that'll give North Paulding a chance to go back on offense, and it'll also give us a chance to remind you about the Atlanta Falcons because football is back, and it's time to rise up. Limited season ticket inventory remains for your Atlanta Falcons. You can select your tickets today online at atlantafalcons.com/tickets.
What is Falcons football? It's Grady putting quarterbacks on notice. It's Kyle shredding defenses like a unicorn. It's Tyler breaking tackles like phone screens. It's AJ locking down anyone on his island. It's Drake touching the sun. It's ZP breaking another record. What is Falcons football?
And we're back again as North Paulding goes back on offense, and Neer was trying to find something, could not get it. And Liam Gray, 3-year starter at linebacker, was able to track him down and bring him down unceremoniously.
Great job closing right there. Get him to the ground. Loss of about 3.
Boy, both these defenses have stepped up and made some really nice plays.
Yep. See if they take a shot here with 5 on 2nd and 12. They're going to, they're going to double cover him. Safety rolled over. Still 2 on him, so they're going to flip to the other side.
Yeah, Inagene goes over and shifts, becomes receiver on the right side. Now Ajax Anderson, the tight end, going to motion left. Handoff goes to Scott. And no matter how much pre-snap movement you show, it's not really softening up the middle of that defense right now.
You know, the thought process behind that, Brandon, is if you're going to play at safety, if you're going to double team our wide receiver, it takes a guy out of the run game. We want to be able to run the football, but right now Harrison's linebackers are getting off blocks, and that's very good news for them because that enables them to play that bracket coverage on 5 and still be able to support the run game.
Neer now looking at 3rd and 12. Puts his tight end in motion again, taking the snap, getting rid of it quick. That ball may have slipped out of his hand, although it is complete to Anderson, but short of the first down. Flag comes in as well. That might have been a wet football.
Yeah, that looked like that. It's an interesting call here on this flag.
Deliberate in the description here right now.
Pass interference, offense, the penalty is declined, 4th down.
So you're going to get one of the North Paulding players. I don't know if it was Anderson who caught the ball.
See this right here. I'm going to show you this cup. See the 3 people here and 2. See that safety over the top on George. See 1, 2, 3 on 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
Watch 5. See that, and the safety goes with him. That's how they're bracket covering him. That's why you see 3 on 2. You see the safety over the top with his eyes clearly on Javarius George.
So that numbers game, as Rusty says, should open up something somewhere else.
But Harrison is flying around right now. So they get the best of both worlds. 5's not going to beat them right now, and they're unable to get to the other side of the field with a lack of safety.
Wisenhunt back on to punt. One of the more interesting moments in the game was his first attempt at that one. The ball could not be handled, kind of a botch punt that resulted in Harrison's first points. And this time, not a very eventful punt, but nonetheless, it's a chance for Hoyas to go back on offense after Xavier Hill catches it with a little fanfare. So with that, we're 7-7, early second quarter, and we'll be right back after this.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
illegal use of hands, and improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future. Every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
And we are back, and Harrison going back on offense quickly here. Braylon Ford, pass complete to Cluse. Cluse going to move the chains on first down and head into North Paulding territory. Second catch of the game for Brady Cluse, senior wide receiver on his way to Memphis.
Yeah, I like this. Just get the ball to him. You know what I mean? I mean, he's our guy. Single coverage. Something nice and easy. Get the ball out of Ford's hands a little quicker.
Empty backfield for Harrison. Ford stands alone at the quarterback spot. Now throwing sideline. Had to go up high to get it. And that created Austin Kowalski a chance coming to make a big catch. I should say a big tackle. But nonetheless, it is a completion going the way of Brady Cluse. Just 3 yards on the reception, though. Empty backfield once again. That's 5 wide receivers stretched out from one side of the field to the other. Complete again. Fighting off one tackler. Getting down to the 22-yard line.
See a much quicker pass offense right now. It's 3 steps and turn it loose.
Sam Porter on the reception.
North Paulding playing off coverage a little bit. If you're going to play back and come up, you got to make that tackle.
Almost exclusively empty backfield in this drive, too. That's an interesting look from the Hoyas as well. So you're going to have 3 spread out left side, 2 more on the right side.
See how far they're off? Look at the top. They're off coverage. Zone right here. Look for a crossing route maybe. And they're going crossing route.
That's Cluse in motion. Ford looking his way. Not going to hurry. He's going to go way down.
Nice
way
job.
Back.
Nice
Aiden
job.
Maddox in on that sack, and that's a huge loss for the Hoyas.
I tell you what, 8 and 9 are football players. Look at him get off the block. Just beats the block of 54. Terrence McRae, junior defensive lineman, unable to stop Maddox on the blitz. He just comes right up the middle for the sack.
So costly lost yardage for Harrison. Puts the ball at the 32, setting up a screen. That's caught by Cluse. Cluse cuts back left. Finally goes down at the 30, so gets a couple, but still well behind the original line of scrimmage.
I believe that was the play they were trying to run before, because they motioned Cruz and he came back across the middle, but he was unable because he had pressure to get that ball, and they came right back to that play, just flip formation.
Now it's 3rd down. 3rd and 17. Ill effects of that Aiden Maddox sack still being felt. Trying to find time to throw, won't find it again. And another sack.
Wow, cannot take that one.
Dylan Harris, forward progress finally stopped way back at the 40-yard line. That's another big loss.
They're doing such a great job of keeping him in the pocket, staying in their lanes. I guarantee you they worked on this the entire off week going into this game because they're not running up past, staying in their lanes and not giving Ford anywhere to go. And back-to-back sacks for North Paulding. What an answer, as Harrison was deep into their territory.
So they're going to punt well within Wolfpack territory here, but it's more about the down and distance than anything else. Zeden gets a high one away. If this is bounces, it may be a good one. Is it going to take? Oh, and it's going to go into the end zone.
That's a great job by the return guy because he had our cameraman and Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He sold that really good. Didn't allow anybody to get down to potentially down that. Nice job.
And what's tough is when you think about net yardage here after a short punt going to the touchback, not a ton of net yardage advantage there for Harrison after that. Hey, next week, as Rusty told you, it's our second ever class of the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame, and one of our inductees, John Stinchcomb, the former Parkview Panther, of course, Georgia Bulldog, and Super Bowl champion with the New Orleans Saints. Very, very proud of John Stinchcomb and happy to be celebrating with him next week as he becomes one of a very storied class going to the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame.
Both of the Stinchcomb brothers in
the first two classes.
Two classes, man. Look forward to seeing John.
All those of us who are on the board each have a Hall of Famer that we're liaisons for, and I am for John Stinchcomb, so I'm thrilled about that. You see North Paulding back here on offense, the tight end, Ajax Anderson.
I got Mike Bobo. Am I asking me anything about T formation or anything?
You want to do some engagement farming on social media? You should put out there, hey, any Georgia fans got any questions you'd like me to ask?
Y'all do some Q&A with Bobo? You might want to ask about tunnel screen or anything?
Yeah, if you want to rack up some engagement on the social media apps, I'd say that's probably a pretty good way to do it.
A lot of his former teammates from Thomasville coming up. It's going to be a really good scene for him.
Yeah, that's wonderful. A couple of years ago, you and I had a chance to do a game down in Thomasville.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
Boy, I loved that experience. My only time to have been down there, and I was very proud I got that opportunity. Here's a throw and catch here, getting George back involved again.
Man, what a great job out there by the Harrison defensive back. Is that Makai Andrade?
Andrade, yeah.
Andrade. He gets off of the block, and then he's able to stop George enough. Watch Andrade here at the top. Watch him get off this block. You see him there, he's blocked. Gets his hands off. He's on the ground, still holds him up long enough for his guys to help. Picture perfect there.
Did get 5 on it, though.
That's a lonely feeling when they throw a bubble out there and you're one-on-one and you got a guy in front of you. That's a win when you only give up 5.
Tight end Autenreith goes in motion. Now Nagy, the wide receiver, going to slip out farther to the right. Near,
got a man
going to
wide
look that
open.
way and throw. Middle of the field, caught. That's George again, still on his feet, looking for a block, and goes out of bounds around the 13-yard line. Big reception by Javarius George.
Great job there. They went 4. It looked like they went 4 seams there. And George somehow ends up open. You see the change of direction and speed with him.
36 yards in the catch. That puts us in the red zone here, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Man, how quick things can change.
More motion from North Paulding. Now it's a handoff and hit in the backfield. Really good play back there. Colin O'Hara, running back who's already got a touchdown, now making a big play on the defensive side of the ball at the linebacker spot.
Neither team unable to kind of establish any running game right now. Both front sevens of Harrison and North Paulding doing a good job here in the first half.
O'Hara, the 3-year starter.
It's been a quick first half.
Gone by fast. Near has got Skelly, the running back behind him. That's the sophomore, James Skelly, into the game for the first time. Handoff goes the way of Skelly. Skelly hit hard around the 12, may have gotten 2 or 3 that time. Third down going to be coming up.
Interesting run there.
Clock ticking down below 3 minutes in the first half. By the way, we're getting towards that time of year where a lot of the halftime show conversation, post-game as well, you're looking at those scores from the state, region standings starting to take shape.
Huge game right there with Cambridge and Cale. Game we did last year, Cambridge kind of upset Cale last year. Jumped all over them, if you remember.
Of course, our Breda Pest Management score ticker. Neer takes the snap, looking, throwing, pass, caught inside the 5, and out of bounds he goes.
It's going to be close.
Calvin Scott, the running back, it's right there on the line, the best that I can tell.
They are marking it short, 4th down.
Okay, they're going to mark it, well short. I thought, that maybe a little bit of a parallax view because, the chains are obviously on the far side of the field, but I thought it was closer than that.
Yeah, I did too.
So on 4th down, North Paulding will keep the offense out there and go for it. Neer takes the snap, looks for the blocks, straight ahead, and he scores a touchdown. Tyler Neer at 5'7", 155 pounds, but more than big enough to find his way into the end zone. And the Wolfpack has the lead again.
Just straight power right at him. See the Maddox twins there in his lead blockers, and he just follows number 8 and number 9. They're just looking for people to block.
Yeah, North Paulding traditionally does not play a lot of guys on both sides of the ball, but in a kind of a ram back situation like that, power set. Aiden Noble gives you the extra point.
How quickly things change. Harrison was deep in their own territory. 2 sacks. Flip the field. North Paulding scores.
Changed everything. All right, we'll take a quick break and have more right after this.
Okay, going back to 1.
This industry is my life. The Georgia film industry feeds my children, and it feeds my dreams, which are 2 very important things. The film community is a real vital ecosystem. You can make a living in it in an incredible town.
Real jobs, real impact. Support Georgia Films. Visit whygeorgia.com.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
Call 800-700-4989 now for a free legal consultation. Again, that's 800-700-4989.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by Kroger. Boost by Kroger Plus. More savings, more benefits, a new level of membership. Dog Nation. Visit DogNation.com for the latest Georgia team news and recruiting information. Georgia's Rome, where the rivers meet and the mountains begin. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Seatbelts save lives. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to buckle up before every trip. And by the U.S. Army. Be all you can be.
All right, let me correct myself on something here. That's Danny Pitts, number 4 right there. He comes in as a Wildcat quarterback on the last play, sneaks in there, and then also snuck his way to the end zone there as well. So let's credit the right man for that touchdown. That's Pitts. That's a ball up for grabs, too. North Paulding rushes up, still fighting for it. That's what happens on some of those short kicks. When it's bouncing around, especially when it's wet.
Was that one of those accidental onsides? Harrison comes out with it, but man.
Yeah, you see Jamari, should say, you see Ty Hartzog coming away with it.
Ooh, so that ball.
Yeah, so right there, O'Hara's down with the football right there, right?
Yep.
So the ball may have squirted through after that, but O'Hara was down with it.
You talking about a dangerous situation there because they could have stole the possession right before the half.
Instead, it's Harrison football after a little fanfare. 2:13 to go in the half. Little orbit motion here on first down turns into a option style pitch, and North Paulding quick to the football.
Danny Pitts didn't make the play, but he ate up the blocks on those pulling linemen and made him turn up.
So second down now, no gain on that. Cluse comes over, becomes a receiver here on the left side.
Maddox twins up top, 8 and 9. They bring them both.
Ford takes the snap, throw, and that's Cluse, 45-yard line. He catches it, makes a man miss into Wolfpack territory there on the other 45-yard line.
That was the best throw of the night from Ford because he had pressure, turns it loose, nice tight spiral and hit Cluse where he was able to get upfield and make a play for a first down. Nice ball there by Ford. Got a little rhythm going.
21 yards on the reception to Cluse. Also his fourth catch of the night, so they're getting him involved here a little bit more. 92 seconds left in the half. Ford's going to have to hurry.
Got hit.
And it's incomplete. Yeah, hit kind of as he threw, kind of a blindside type hit.
Yep. They're bringing pressure. It was an unblocked man. They had one more than there was anybody. So when you go empty set like that, Brandon, it leaves your backside susceptible to something like that. And they almost got him, but they did affect the throw.
From that image right there, it looks like the rain's kind of calming down a little bit.
Yeah, you look at the people, and I kind of judge by the people in the crowd. And when women aren't covering their hair,
good point.
It's not raining that bad. Comes from a girl dad. Trust me, I understand that.
I understand that. Second 10.
Good
throwing
throw.
Again. Pass caught. 40-yard line. Fighting down to maybe the 38. That's Brady Cluse again.
I still like this. Just get the ball to 7. It's our guy. Let's get the ball to Cluse and let him do his thing.
Good size.
But they're also getting the ball out of Ford's hand. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to sit around and dance. His 3-step drop and turn it loose. Yeah, Cluse has got good size. I saw him this summer and at the Milton camp, the Paddock camp, and I thought, wait a minute. He just had committed to Memphis. I said, wait a minute. He's got a little more size than I thought.
Of course, we'll take a look at our Harrison resume presented by Smart Local 85. Josh Castee, head coach, former defensive coordinator of Matt Dickman, who was head coach when this program won the state championship in 2019. Of course, Dickman's actually still back on staff, away from a while, at least away from football. Came back to work with the strength and conditioning program, always a passion of his, and now back also as running backs coach as well. Of course, notable alumni. Everybody remembers Justin Fields, now with the Chicago Bears. Paul Oliver's a name that Georgia fans hold dear, and obviously just, a guy that their memory will obviously cherish when it comes to Oliver. Darvin Adams there as well.
Man, that's Coach Cassidy right there, the head coach. But Coach Dickman, when all the craziness was people trying to cover Justin Fields, he handled that as good as any high school coach I've ever seen. He was very welcoming to the media to come in and be around this program, and I was always appreciative of the time, and just a great all-around person, man. Done so much here at Harrison.
Ford takes the snap,
There
looking
he is.
sideline, and just not quite able to bring it in.
Just missed him.
Cluse was there, had the outstretched hand, and it was just about 1 inch too far.
Almost, man.
That would have brought a huge eruption here from this Harrison crowd.
I still love this play, what they've got going on right now offensively. I think Harrison's like, look, we can't run the football because you got numbers in the box, but you're going to leave 7 one-on-one. We're going to see what you're about on defense right now with him.
This has been a good football game.
Yeah.
Now looking at fourth down, you got to be careful here because if you don't get it for
100%.
A North Paulding offense that's shown some explosiveness, they'd have a pretty short field here.
Great point right here.
In fact, that may be enough to convince Harrison to think about it. You're going to see Ford jog over.
Yeah, because North Paulding's got 3 timeouts.
We'll also see our North Paulding resume here there as well.
The old baby powder student section trick.
presented by Smart Local 85. Of course, Chris Conley.
Man, I was there.
Beloved former Georgia receiver.
I went to see him in 2011. And I remember walking up and Coach said, hey, this guy's pretty good. And I was like, okay. You know, and you watch him run some routes and you go, wait a minute. This guy is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
fun when you see that for the first time for a player.
Yeah.
Of course, Don Stark, head coach, very successful at Seminole down in Florida. Brought about 5 assistants with him from Florida to establish this at North Paulding. Also some coaches from South Georgia there as well. That's what his circle was, his network was. He brings them up here, and they win the region last year and really probably in line for potentially even more success than that this year.
You talk about it all the time, but you take a job like North Paulding when it opens, the size of the school, number 1, the community, number 2, and the ability to have what you kind of need to be successful. And let's be honest, the state of Georgia pays our high school coaches.
That's the thing.
Not only did Coach Stark uproot, 5 coaches came with him.
And, you know, not every coach is as open about talking about that, but obviously these are men that are raising their families. Of course they'd want that.
100%.
But the one thing that Stark was very open about is that this state values its extracurriculars, and there's a commitment to, you know, sports like football, but also all sports across Georgia, that if you're out of state, you can't help but notice. This is a state that truly loves its high schools. Now, after the timeout, Josh Cassidy has thought better of going for it on 4th down, but it's a fake, and the ball is dropped. A fake, and it's going to get blown up here because the up man that had it could not hold on to it.
I didn't see the formation, but, man, here we go. North Paulding, 1 minute, 5 seconds to go. Great field position. Let's see what happens here. They go motion.
It's definitely a design fake. It's our Gordo's Cheesy Play of the game, presented by Gordo's Cheese Dip. You know, you had the offense on. You call the timeout to possibly think about it.
Yeah.
And then perhaps you felt like you had that fake punt that you could really call upon, but just a little bit of a miscue there.
Go double coverage here. You see on 5.
Near will throw on 1st down. Up to and inside Hoya territory there. Calvin Scott on the reception.
And this is a big series right here for Harrison.
Just under a minute left in the half. Harrison desperately wants to stop here.
Do not want to go 2 for 1.
Coughing it up on the attempted fake punt on 4th down a moment ago. And Rusty's right. It would be a 2 for 1 type situation. Here is Near to throw with time. Middle of the field. Pass caught. 31-yard line. That's George again.
Talked to Terrence Edwards this week. I said, Terrence, give me the straight-up opinion of Javarius George. He said, Rusty, he might be the most underrated player in the state of Georgia. He goes, he runs great routes. He's got great top-end speed, great hands.
And as we talked about earlier, proved it in a major proving round against Walton earlier this year.
Oh, great play design.
Dumps it off, middle of the field, running, still inside, on his feet inside the 15-yard line. That's Dubé Inagene.
I love that play design right there. Trips right, roll just a second, a little bit, everybody, all the eyes to the right side of the screen. It just hits that backside slant for a huge play.
In the red zone, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Coming under 30 seconds here. Near, end zone, looking, a little bit of tangled up there. Intended target was the tight end, Braden Autenreith. They've tried to get Autenreith involved, and they were looking for a touchdown
they
there.
Get away. Watch 8 right here. They get away with this a little bit. See that? He's got him right there. That's okay, but see that jersey stretching?
Yeah, they did not actually get away with it, I don't believe.
They call it?
Yeah,
yep,
they did drop the
okay.
flag on that, yes. Autenreith, the intended target, that's a player that Don Stark has said, hey, feels like he's one of his under-recruited players. Says as good a tight end as we've actually played against is our guy Autenreith. So
I think his older brother.
After discussion, there's no foul on the play. It's an incomplete pass.
Oh, wow. How about that? After a little sidebar, the flag is waved off. That's an interesting decision by these officials.
Yeah, I believe Harrison got away with one right there, but they'll take it.
Now looking at 2nd down after that. George goes in motion, then cuts back left. Near, going to look George's way.
Great
it's
job.
Incomplete. How about the coverage that time by Colin O'Hara?
Man. Look at that route 5 runs, and then to change the direction, great job getting in right there by O'Hara.
That is a terrific play.
I mean, you don't realize how hard a play he just made.
Against a college-level wide receiver to get in front of the football.
Great route. Ball on the money, and he just comes right over the top. Nice play, 32. That's a senior fighting for his team right here. See the coverage, see the 2 guys here on 5.
21 seconds.
Top of screen, one-on-one underneath.
Near, looking right side, and it's caught for a touchdown. Ajax Anderson.
There was the one-on-one. When you take a safety out, you have to make that decision. You're going to leave somebody one-on-one. Great throw and catch there. And Ajax Anderson, who played a great game last year, we had him on TV against Walton. Look at that, stretch out. Ra Thomas be proud of him on that one.
That's right, found a way to get those feet down.
And 32 makes as much as he can, just could not get up quite high enough. Perfect. Great camera work there, stay up.
How big
does
2
that
for 1 4th down situation loom now as Harrison attempts the faked punt and perhaps had it? Hard to know for sure, but obviously a mishandled football results in a North Paulding possession and a march down the field to extend the lead. And now with that, we'll take a look at the team schedule for North Paulding, presented by Personal Touch Lawn Care. Lone blemish on the season, that loss to Walton.
And they were in that game now.
Yeah,
don't look at that final score because
closer game earlier.
They were in that thing.
44-24, of course. And then you look at the rest of the way in region play. And this is one of those regions that most of the teams in this region like to challenge themselves with tough competition outside.
Yep.
So you kind of see, some crazy stuff start to happen. McEachern, who obviously beat Harrison last week. Marietta.
Marietta, a good game, a big game tonight with playoff implications.
Of course, North Paulding winning this region a year ago.
I would say right now on paper, they're probably the favorite again.
Okay.
Yep, right now, but they're not a clear favorite, but if I would say they're on paper, they're the favorite right now.
High kick, fielded at the 27.
Got a lane.
Yeah, he had some room to run there for a minute. The hole closed up pretty quick. We'll see our scoring summary there as well. But for a moment there, that looked like that might be a nice return for Xavier Hill. Scoring summary presented by Breda Pest Management. 6 plays, 57 yards, 49 seconds. The Ajax Anderson touchdown from 13 yards out caps it off. And the big thing here is it allows North Paulding late to create a 2-score advantage for itself.
Yeah, 2 for 1 there. And Brandon, we're sitting there at 4 minutes to go, and Harrison has the ball on the 22-yard line. It's a 7-7 game.
A massive, that's a great point, massive momentum flip since then. You would assume here that Harrison might look to get out, but perhaps not. They've got just under 13 seconds to play with.
Close.
Ford going to roll, throw to Klose. Klose gets out of bounds midfield, so that's going to give them a chance here. Can they get 2 plays off the next 8 seconds?
Yeah, if North Paulding plays that coverage again, they're going to work to the sidelines and try to get something where Ford. Listen, if you watched the West Virginia-Houston game last night, you use every second of the clock.
That's right.
With 12 seconds to go, they run 2 plays and beat West Virginia. Man, what a huge win for the Cougars. But if they come back with that same coverage, they're going to work the sideline, see if he rolls to the right with Klose right here, try to get out of bounds, maybe about the 40, 42.
Harrison has 2 timeouts left.
See if he rolls right here.
Ford lineman across for North Paulding.
Get rid of it.
Going to throw, and it's intercepted.
Oh, my goodness.
Be careful here. Danny Pitts, who had a touchdown earlier as a Wildcat quarterback, gets an interception to end the first half, and Harrison's lucky he didn't take that one back.
Man, a touchdown saving tackle right here by a big lineman.
That could have been a disaster. And that's how the first half comes to a close. A strong rally by North Paulding, and they've got a 2-touchdown lead, 21-7. Halftime show coming up. We're glad to have you tonight here on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
My marriage kind of took a different path. He told me he was not moving back into the home. My biggest fear was the unknown. What would happen with the children and myself? What would happen with the house? I found Meriwether and Tharp. They told me that they would walk me through this divorce, and they did that tenfold. You need an attorney. You need the best attorney, and that's going to be Meriwether and Tharp.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years, purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
Yikey wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
And welcome to our halftime show brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kaylee Mansell with our Kroger halftime guest. It's the athletic director of Harrison High School, Wesley Ellis. So as AD, I understand you have a big role to play. You wear many hats. What does your job look like on a day-to-day basis?
It looks like a lot of things. Like you said, we wear a lot of hats. Obviously, there's the athletic component. We make sure that we're supporting our coaches and our athletes as best we can. There still is a discipline component too. So especially in Cobb County, you're an AD and an assistant principal at the same time. But the biggest part of that is supporting our athletes, something we enjoy doing.
And I know you do a lot of hands-on work, but from your perspective, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
You know, we do something monthly that I really like to do, which is our Coaches Collaborative. We get together as head coaches once a month. We do a book study, and we kind of learn from each other. One of the big things that we focus on is culture and trying to make sure that we're improving our athletes on and off the field and focus on academics and integrity and a lot of things like that. And that starts at the top with our coaches. They're really trying to invest in them first.
I, for one, have a lot of respect for educators. My mom is in education, so I'm always interested to hear what made you want to become a teacher and get into higher ed.
So I guess maybe I'm like a lot of coaches, I don't know, but for me it was to continue my baseball career, if I'm being completely honest. I played small college baseball at Shorter University, but that was my passion, right? And so education was a way to extend that. And then I fell in love with the classroom. I started teaching AP classes and then transitioned into an administrative role. So honestly, sports is what got me into education, and then I fell in love with it when I got there.
I'm sure you have countless memories made as AD, but what is a favorite memory of yours that comes to mind?
Man, I'd have to say that first year, I took over mid-year, but our boys soccer team won the state championship 3 months after I'd taken over. And it was a sport I really didn't know much about. Being a baseball guy, I'd never really seen much soccer because it's the same season, but our community is just incredible. And, seeing 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people show up at that state championship game, unbelievable.
And I understand that you have a special message that you want to give to someone at home.
I do. So I've got 2 daughters. So one's at home. My oldest is at home. Avery, love you. Go to sleep. Ansley is actually in the hospital right now recovering from surgery. Baby, I love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And the last thing that I want to know from you is whenever you have a game like this that is televised, how does that change the course of your week?
You know, the run of show that we put in place kind of gets backed up. Yeah. And what the guys told me tonight was, hey, you can do whatever you want to, but at 8:07, we kick off. And so we just had to make sure we were on point with that. And we're so glad that y'all came out. You know, y'all put on such a great production, so thank you for being here.
You're very welcome. Mr. Ellis, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right, guys, let's take a look at the Harrison Band brought to you by Meriwether and Tharp.
Attention! Did you or a loved one live at or near the Marine base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina before 1988? For decades, Marines at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause illnesses, especially later in life. A new law was recently signed by President Joe Biden that set aside billions of dollars for families of those who lived at or near Camp Lejeune. If you or a family member lived at Camp Lejeune before 1988, you may be entitled to financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past by the VA, a new law allows you to refile your claim today. If you, your husband, father, or grandfather spent time at Camp Lejeune while in the Marines, call Sutton Gates right now to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-600-3222. That's 1-800-600-3222.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to today's episode of Talking Trades. I'm Ashley Rose. Today we're joined by Terry Newsom of the UA Local Union 72 plumbers, pipe fitters, HVACR technicians. Terry, explain a little bit about what all of that entails.
Well, we actually cover the plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and the HVAC service techs. We have about 3,500 members total. We've been in business or chartered back in 1891, so wow. This year 132 years.
Wow.
So
that's amazing. And when you're looking for people to add every single year, what type of worker, what type of personality traits, characteristics are you looking for?
Somebody that just wants to work and work hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, show up every day.
Most important.
That's right. That's right.
Now, what type of jobs do you work on?
Hospitals, data centers, office buildings, pretty much everything out there. We don't really cover the residential side much, but pretty much anything up in the commercial world. So.
And how long have you been in the trades?
I've been in for 30 years.
Wow.
So
over your 30 years looking back, what's been probably the most impactful or most interesting project you've been on?
Probably the one that actually was out of state, out in Pryor, Oklahoma. So.
And what was that for?
That was for Google.
Okay.
That one there was a data center. So.
Oh wow. That's amazing.
Yep.
And talk a little bit about the benefits that one gets when they join the trades.
Benefits are great. You get your health care paid by the contractor. For every hour you work, it's paid by the contractor. You get a pension. So, once again, paid by the contractor, just for working. So.
And now a lot of people who are watching this program, they're in high school. So they're making the decision, do I go to college, do I go into the trades? What's one piece of advice, looking back over your 30 years, you'd give to your younger self saying this is the right decision?
It's the right decision because it's no debt, zero student debt. So you learn a skill and nobody can take that skill away from you. It's yours forever.
Wow. So for these kids that want to find out more, where can they go to find out more?
They go to ua72.org, or you can call the office at 404-373-5778.
Terry, thanks so much for joining us today. That will do it for this episode of Talking Trades, but don't worry, because we'll be back next week.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is...
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover.
To redefine yourself.
To improve yourself.
To challenge yourself.
To realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools.
The best training.
The best technology in the world.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
And welcome back to the Halftime Show, brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Score Atlanta reporter Craig Sager. Craig, 21-7 at the half. Harrison scored first. It's been 21 straight for North Paulding since. Where did the shift in momentum come from?
I've really been impressed with North Paulding's offense. Tyler, he's having a great day throwing it. Javaris George, but Ajax, the tight end, he's getting involved. You had the Wildcat touchdown. I just think the North Paulding offense, they really responded after that first Harrison touchdown. They look impressive, and Harrison, they've got to come up with some defensive game plans.
What does Harrison have to do in the second half to keep this game close?
Well, defensively, they've got to cover Ajax. He's been getting wide open in the flats. He's a big mismatch. And then offensively, Harrison hasn't been able to run the ball well. Braylon Ford, he's been under pressure. He's shown his ability to move around. But I'd like to see the receivers, once Braylon's scrambling and buying time, get open, don't give up on the play, and then they've got to establish a run. But just to see Harrison in this position, the tough loss last week, this is a big second half for them in the region.
Well, we've got a great game going on here in Kennesaw, Georgia tonight, but there are also some other great games going on across the state. Let's take a look at our scoreboard, brought to you by Score Atlanta. That first score is really interesting. Parkview only up over Archer 17-12. You would think that Parkview would be able to pull away with that game. We've got some other great games on the board. Walton is shutting out Kennesaw Mountain. That is the final score of the night, the only score on that page that is over yet. Craig, what stands out to you?
Yeah, Walton's in that driver's seat. They beat North Cobb last week. They're trying to win that region. That's a big result. And also in that region, though, Osborne, they won their first region game since 2011 last week against Kennesaw Mountain. And then another one would be huge to put themselves in that playoff picture. And you got to think the weather conditions maybe have gone into effect with that Parkview Archer score, kind of slowing the game down.
Looking at our next set of scores, and keep in mind, guys, last week a lot of these Gwinnett County teams, they were on their bye week, so they returned this week. We've got so many scores for you guys. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to them all. Another big game on that screen right there is McEacher and Marietta. They are in this region along with Harrison and North Paulding. The Harrison athletic director actually asked us for the score of that game. He knew it was a big game for not just those teams, but the entire region.
Absolutely. The one thing you can say about McEacher and Marietta, they are battle tested. They've played a lot of stiff competition. McEacher, big win over Valdosta a couple weeks ago, the big win last week, and then Marietta coming off that Hillgrove victory.
Taking a look at our next set of scores, the game in the state that everybody has eyes on, it's on ESPN2 at the moment, is Buford, Mill Creek, arguably two of the best teams in all of 7A. They are tied up right now. They've been neck and neck all night in the third quarter. It's going to be a good one, Craig.
Yeah, one of the things Buford hasn't done this season is turn the ball over. They turned it over. Cam Robinson tied it up 17-17, and then they just got stopped on the 1 yard line on a 4th and goal situation. Mill Creek's coming up with the clutch plays. Can they find the game winner? That will remain to be seen. And then big result with West Forsyth against an undefeated Lambert team. Those are really bitter rivals. A huge game right there, and that's an impressive result for the Wolverines.
Taking a look at our next set of scores, some of the games on this not as close. Jones County over Dutchtown 14-0, still in the third quarter. Greater Atlanta Christian, a team who has been highly impressive all season long. We're going to get the chance to see them next week. They are absolutely dominating North Springs right now, 55-14 in the fourth quarter.
Certainly one of the most intriguing teams in 5A right now. They are rolling. And then Cartersville, it seems like every single game's close, but I think that just goes to show how impressive that region is. That one's going to come down to the wire.
And that is our scoreboard, brought to you by Score Atlanta. Now the second half is approaching shortly, but before we get to that, let's take a look at the Harrison Band, brought to you by Meriwether and Tharp.
Stepping into the sunlight, love became my co-star. Every scene is a dance of the heart.
Attention military personnel, families, and civilians who were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987. If you or a loved one lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune, call the Victims Justice Group now. You may be entitled to significant compensation. The U.S. government recently passed a law allowing servicemen and women, their family members, and civilian workers who lived or worked on the base at Camp Lejeune for at least 30 days to seek justice for injuries caused by toxic water. If you or a loved one suffered injuries associated with the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, including bladder, kidney, or liver cancer, multiple myeloma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's disease, adult leukemia, or aplastic anemia, call the Victims Justice Group now. Our attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve for your pain and suffering. Military personnel, their families, and civilian workers who served, lived, or worked at Camp Lejeune from August 1953 to December 1987 may be eligible for compensation. Don't wait. Call our helpline now.
Okay, girls, it's about that time.
Some have said that rallying middle schoolers is a lot like herding cats. Obviously, those folks never saw a cat herder juggle catching the bus with science projects, soccer practice, violin lessons, and making lunch. To the moms and dads out there who control the chaos, win the day, and make herding cats look more like corralling kittens,
Okay, girls, we're out of here.
we at Ingalls tip our hats. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
When I heard the gunshot, I started running, but I had already been hit. I called my wife. I was just telling her, you know, I love her and stuff, like, because at one point, I felt like it was over. You know, I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was really scared, but they got me through that. You know, they saved me. Born again there. Born twice there. I was born at Grady. I almost lost my life, and they delivered me again. A second chance at life. That's what Grady gave me.
And welcome back to halftime here in a beautiful overhead shot of Cobley Stadium on the campus of Harrison High School. That's a gorgeous drone shot looking down. I tell you, that's just a wonderful, wonderful scene there. Awesome. Great atmosphere for high school football here at Harrison, and a great performance from North Paulding right now on top, 21-7. Let's see how they got there. Our halftime stats here presented by the Mechanical Trades Institute. Of course, a lot of this, as Rusty pointed out, coming late second quarter here, and a pretty big yardage imbalance in favor of North Paulding. Rusty, that's one of the first things that jumps out when you see those stats.
First thing that jumps out to me, Brandon, is Harrison's inability to run the football. I mean, it has put them in obvious passing downs at North Paulding to be able to get pressures, create a turnover late. But you look at the total yards, man, it is completely one-sided right now. And be honest with you, Brandon, this very easily could have been 7-7.
Very easily could have been. Two late scores for North Paulding give them quite the cushion here. In fact, let's go back and see our halftime highlights here presented by Ford. We'll get things started early in the game here with Harrison, who found the end zone first. A nice touchdown run there by Colin O'Hara.
Great ball right there by 19.
Back to Javarius George there for North Paulding, getting him involved. And then it was the North Paulding's defense turn to wreak havoc there on Braylon Ford.
Back-to-back sacks took Harrison out of the red zone. And then North Paulding capitalized on the next two possessions to go up 21-7.
Another big catch by Javarius George. Then it was the Wildcat play
Fourth and one.
Fourth down to get the score. And then, of course, Ajax Anderson, the tight end, comes back and gets the score. It was Danny Pitts who had the Wildcat touchdown run prior to that.
My man got 2 feet in. That was good on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
It was indeed. Those are your halftime highlights presented by Ford. So that's our score, 21-7. Still anybody's ball game, but admittedly some North Paulding momentum in the first half. We're going to take one more timeout. We'll come back and get ready to show you third quarter action. It's been a rainy night, but a fun football game. We're glad to have you with us on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Planting season is here, and it's time to give your yard the perfect touch from the professionals at Personal Touch Lawn Care. Why Personal Touch? Courteous service, attention to detail, and a desire to give you the best lawn in your neighborhood.
They have the knowledge and skills to do anything that I would need.
Call now for a 25% discount on design and consultation services.
Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Personal Touch Lawn Care, 770-908-1238, or online at ptlcatlanta.com.
America, come along with our adventure seekers and discover summer with Ford. Join friends Maisa and Leslie on an epic adventure with the capability of the Ford Bronco Sport. Head out with the Stevens family and stay connected with built-in Wi-Fi in the Ford Explorer.
Did you know that horses switch standing up?
Road trip with the Sanchez family and available hands-free highway driving in the Ford F-150. Now get 2.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $4,500 cash back on select Ford SUVs. See your local Ford dealer and discover your best summer ever.
The drive for the GHSA state title is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today.
We are back here. Third quarter action about to get underway. Drive for the GHSA state title presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. North Paulding on top of Harrison. Brandon Adams, Rusty Mansell. While we have a moment, we'll also check out some scores here from around the rest of the state, too. And, of course, throughout the night, you'll see those rolling underneath on our Breda Pest Management score ticker. You can also check out scores anytime you want on the Score Atlanta website at scoreatl.com.
Wow.
Dalton on top of Cass right now.
Oh, my goodness.
We talk about pound for pound, how really good and quality that region is up there in the 5A classification. The Catamounts proving that with a big lead over Cass right now, and Jefferson also big over Flowery Branch.
I wonder
as well.
if Devin Henderson got hurt at the end of last week, because that is a huge piece of the puzzle, obviously, folks, on both sides of the ball.
Folks will remember the Cass running back Devin Henderson injured last week at the end of our game, perhaps not playing, and that's a completely different Cass team without him. We even saw that in our overtime period.
Wow.
Perry on top of Baldwin right now. Wayne County getting the best of New Hampstead.
I'm telling you, Travis Nolan's got Jefferson rolling. Sammy Brown and that crew, they have been putting in two teams up in Northeast Georgia.
And then just down the road, North Oconee continues to do the same thing as well.
Yep.
Tonight it comes to the hands of East Forsyth, but up 37-19 the fourth quarter. Fun game in Central Georgia as Mary Persons on top of Peach County right now, 13-7. Of course, the outstanding running back from Mary Persons continues to be the story there, what he's been able to do thus far this season.
Duke Watson put it on Prince Avenue Christian. One of their first losses in a long time. Louisville commit.
Sandy Creek doubling up Carver Atlanta. Speaking of running backs, Bo Walker out of Cedar Grove commits to Georgia this week, and right now the Saints on top of the Astros by a score of 20-0.
They're finally playing a school their size.
Yeah, that's right. It takes them almost the end of
and
the season
a home game
to get into 3A competition, and they really only play about 3 home games per year.
3 home games every year.
Fellowship Christian on top of Athens Academy right now, 35-21. And Elbert County on top of Rabun County right now in a single A Division I battle, 21-3 there. Third quarter action. And, of course, as we said before, you can watch all of that and follow those scores online, scoreatl.com, and the Breda Pest Management score ticker throughout the night there as well. And with that, we'll get ready to begin our third quarter action here. Both teams have been kind of stretching out a little bit. You see Cobley Stadium, the press box where we are. Rain starting to come down maybe a little bit more. You're seeing more of those ponchos coming out again.
Good student section, man. I'm telling you, they're rocking and rolling.
Harrison in its green jerseys. The white helmets, the big H there on the side. Both these teams share navy blue as a common color. Harrison, the 2019 state champs in the 5A classification, what was then the second highest classification in Georgia. One of the things that Josh Cassidy, the Harrison coach, told us this week is that, at one point in time, they were a bigger school in the second highest classification, and now they're kind of a smaller school in the highest classification, and very proud last year as a smaller 7A school to get a playoff win against Brookwood. Went down and actually for a while played Colquitt County pretty tough down there in Moultrie before finally succumbing. So a little bit of momentum established in last year's playoffs they've been able to take into this year's regular season.
It's going to be interesting. I get text every day. Hey, man, when's the classifications coming out? And obviously the state of Georgia with some big rule changes lately. But we will do away with 7A. We'll compress the teams into regions. There'll only be 6 classifications. However, in 3A and below, the private schools will play their own bracket for the state championship. So A lot of different changes coming next year. Don't know when. 2 questions I get all the time. When's the SEC 2024 schedule coming out?
That's right.
And when is the high school classifications coming out? And believe it or not, I have no idea on either one of them. I'll find out when you find out.
And I would say that the private school part of this is pretty complicated, but the idea of larger regions, reducing the travel.
That's going to be a good thing.
Reducing the number of teams without winning records that make the playoffs.
And I love this time that private schools can play public schools during the regular season. Last time it wasn't that way. And I like that.
Geeson's kickoff will go into the end zone for a touchback. Or I should say Zeeden's kickoff will go into the end zone for a touchback. And that's something that Harrison's very good at. And how about this? After a flurry of scores to end the half, an interception that almost could have been a pick six, and then taking advantage of a botched punt, all of a sudden you see North Paulding now getting ready to go back with the football again. So what is it the coaches talk about? The middle eight, the last 4 minutes of the one half, the first 4 minutes of the next?
Yep.
That's a lot of possession time during that period for North Paulding right now. So something to circle and keep in mind. Tyler Neer is the quarterback, you'll remember, for North Paulding. They're going to go in motion 100 different ways before this ball is snapped. It's a jet sweep handoff, but Harrison more than equal to the task on that. Well read there on first down. Quentin Charles, the cornerback, in on that stop.
Yeah, I told you pregame, man. Harrison student section, it's always one of the best ones. I went to the restroom during break, and, man, they were 200-300 deep in that student section, sitting in the rain.
Almost had like a fullback there for a moment, but Anderson, who already has a touchdown, goes out. Now he becomes the receiver on the far left side of the formation, so they're doing a little bit of everything. Near throwing left side, that's George.
Nice job there defensively.
And Harrison's all over it, so good start defensively for Harrison here in the third quarter.
Rain
Kai Andrade in on that stop.
Rain coming in a little bit harder as we start the second half here. And, man, you got to know if you're Harrison coaching staff. You said in that halftime going, this easily could have been 7-7, and we just got to find a way to capitalize here in the second half and get right back in this thing. But 4 minutes ago in the first half, it was 7-7. That's how quick things changed.
A stop on third down here would be huge for the Hoyas. Obviously, the Wolfpack wants to prevent that. Neer takes the snap, going to dump off. That's Scott.
Got a tackle.
And he gets up.
First down.
Across the 30-yard line. And a first down. Yeah, yep. I think it's going to be a first down for North Paulding.
They run that rail route again. If they catch you in man-to-man, they run off these two wide receivers. Run off everybody on that side of the field, and they just hit the back in the flat.
Ball sits at the 32-yard line. Just underway here, third quarter action. Wolfpack with the football and a 2-touchdown lead. Anderson goes in motion. Handoff goes to Scott. Scott almost had the football ripped away from him. At least the attempt was made at that. Yes. But Scott got 9 at least, and actually is going to get a full 10 and another first down for North Paulding. So suddenly the Wolfpack finding a rhythm offensively.
Yeah, they're putting bodies on bodies right there. They had about 3 Harrison guys on their back right there, and North Paulding just came off the football, reestablished the line of scrimmage. Coach Stark, no headset, no hat. Just calling play, just calling ball, man.
In the soup right there.
Look at him.
Having a good time here on a Friday night. His team's got a lead. So whistle blows, and now North Paulding's actually going to have to call a timeout.
They did not like that formation. They got upset with how they broke the huddle. See Coach Starks have said he did not want to use a timeout this early.
Yeah, those second half timeouts obviously more precious than the first half timeouts. Plus, it kind of eliminates some of the, at least briefly anyway, some of the momentum that North Paulding had. And while we have a moment here, we'll also remind you, speaking of Breda Pest Managers, what I mentioned a moment ago, that did you know that in the area, a size of a football field, there's over 1 million termites? So if that's true, what's stopping these termites from finding your home? Well, that's where you can let Breda Pest Management protect your home from termites and prevent these silent destroyers from closing, costing you thousands of dollars in damage. You can find out more at bredapest.com. That's BREDA, bredapest.com for more on that. So North Paulding forced to use a timeout. You see how hard the rain's coming down right now. Not slowing these student sections down at all. Yeah, boy, they're having a great time. You'd love to see that. One of the things that makes our Friday nights always so fun is the enthusiasm of the student sections.
Pink out tonight.
Obviously in honor of breast cancer awareness. North Paulding plays with two tight ends a lot. Now they're briefly both on the right side. Now Anderson goes on the left side. Hand off to Scott up the middle. Scott going to drag a body to the 47. He got 3 yards that time, and that'll bring up second down. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Watch the motion here if we got the replay. Watch a motion by 0, Ajax Anderson. It's just a trap play. Watch him, see him block 59 right there? That opens that hole up. You can dance around a lot of formations and do things. End of the day, just an inside trap out of shotgun. And then, believe it or not, North Paulding, the motion again.
That's Inagene, the wide receiver. And now Scott makes an empty backfield. He takes the dump off screen. And Scott's had his number called a lot on this drive. And he's going to get it up to around down to the 47.
I tell you, man, it's got to be a handful to prepare for North Paulding. They show so many offensive formations.
Maybe just shy, like a yard shy here, with 3rd and 1 now coming up. 9:05 to go, third quarter of play.
Man, Walton is rolling. 49-0 over Kennesaw Mountain. Beat North Cobb last week.
Anderson becomes a tight end, detached with a hand on the ground. Now quarterback goes under center.
Flag, yep.
Yeah, they may not have had time to get set on that.
Yep. Boy, that'll frustrate you as a coach because you wait all night to call that play and you get a penalty on it.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Let's see who went under center on that.
10.
Yeah, that's the tight end, Braden Autenreef.
Guard moved. The center snapped it late. The guard was leaning a little bit.
Yeah, so the quarterback, Tyler Neer, was still in the game, but it was Autenreef who went under center for the snap. So they've literally shown you everything.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. We've been doing this for a while. They have so many formations. Look at that play sheet over there. That thing's got a lot of highlights on it. Mill Creek up on Buford, 4th quarter. Will they beat them for the 2nd year in a row?
Mill Creek, the defending 7A state champions, eyes on perhaps another one. Here's a pass complete and hit right away. Another big play in this football game by Colin O'Hara, senior linebacker.
Football player right there. Not the biggest, not the fastest. Gives you everything he has. Sure tackle, look at that. Right on George.
He's had a couple of good plays tonight while defending George. Not an easy task.
In space, might I add. Both times in space. And he was on that touchdown, just quite didn't have enough length. A great coverage there. Great high school football player.
That's going to bring on Wisnant to punt. Man runs on late for North Paulding as well.
See if they try to steal one here. Are they coming at them? Or are they going to go punt safe? They're coming off the edge.
High. Wisnant gets it. Gets a high kick away himself. Going to be caught there at the 15-yard line. And then trying to find some room, but won't be able to do so. Finally run out of bounds over there. Not much doing that time for Xavier here, the punt man. Danny Pitts there to push him out of bounds. But Harrison gets the stop that it needs, and it's got the football now. We'll come back and show you Hoyas on offense for the first time for the second half right after this.
Everything Breaks is a new kind of auto protection plan that gives you more. You gotta have a protection plan, or you'll be paying the huge costs of auto repair on your own. Some plans charge you $150 a month, but for less than $1 a day, Everything Breaks can protect you from crippling auto repair bills that you can't afford. Call the number on your screen now for a no-obligation quote.
I like Everything Breaks because they have lots of different plans
It's really affordable, and they have really good customer service.
Everything Brakes also includes 24-hour roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental cars. With our loyalty program, you can earn rewards like free oil changes and brake pads. Everything Brakes covers more than cars, so act now, and coverage for your smartphone will be included free. That's auto and phone protection for one low price. It's only a matter of time until something breaks, so don't wait. Call now to join the millions of satisfied customers and start saving thousands on your repair bills.
Call 800-935-0994 or visit everythingbrakes.com.
Okay, girls.
Some have said that rallying middle schoolers is a lot like herding cats. To the moms and dads out there who control the chaos and make herding cats look more like corralling kittens, we at Ingles tip our hats. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
If you are on the fence about ordering McDonald's, consider this a sign.
Mix and match a double cheeseburger, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, or small fries for just $3.69. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by the Mechanical Trades Institute, the best-kept secret everyone should know about. Smart Local 85, sheet metal is a smart move. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow. The Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association, careersinsheetmetal.com, building a solid future. The Atlanta Falcons, rise up dirty birds. And by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, together we can make a difference.
Welcome back, everyone. Harrison going back on the football field with the football. First drive here of the third quarter. It is a rushing play. And Rusty told us at halftime that's the one thing he'd like to see more of from Harrison. Find a way to run the ball. They kind of do it in sort of a non-traditional fashion.
Yeah.
And that's not really working very much right now.
No, they're not. They have no answer for the Maddox twins right now, 8 and 9.
It reminds you of that. Two outstanding seniors, a linebacker and a defensive end, Ethan and Aiden Maddox, twin brothers and dominant forces here on this North Paulding defense if you're just joining us. Lose 2 yards on that play. Another orbit motion type formation here. Another handoff. But once again, nobody from North Paulding is fooled, including Ethan Maddox, who's there to make the tackle.
Zero. They cannot run the football. They cannot move this front four from North Paulding right now. And it starts with number 8, and it starts with number 9. Tell you, I don't know a ton about them, but like those two football players right there to me look like what Wake Forest has made a killing off of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like get guys like that or 4 or 5 year program
That's
guys
right, yeah.
that absolutely just tear the ACC up.
Yeah, you let those guys or guys like that get a redshirt year,
oh,
fifth
dude,
year
those are five,
seniors.
oh, yeah, those are 5 year guys.
Another one of those orbit motion type things turning into an option pitch. This gets some positive yards, but back in the shadow of their own end zone with the rain coming down, Harrison decides to be pretty careful with the football and really nothing to show for that. That's going to turn out to be a 3 and out.
And one thing, Brandon, you pointed out to me pregame is North Paulding rarely plays anybody both ways. These guys are fresh. You know, 11 players go to the sideline and sit in a tent for the most part.
So we have not seen Javarius George on every punt return for North Paulding.
But he's about to.
We do see him right now, so buckle up for some highlights. Another bad handled snap. Punter does a good job.
Great job.
Zeaton just to get it away. And now
Look
it
at
takes
this.
a Hoya roll, and it actually ends up across the 50-yard line. And given where that could have been, that's about as big a break for Harris as you could possibly get. Zeaton mishandles the snap. I believe you'll say that. And then barely gets it away, but does get it away with some Wolfpack defenders breathing down his neck.
Wet ball. Man, that was a great job just to get rid of that.
So it was a special teams miscue by Harris at the end of the first half that led to points for North Paulding. But in this case, it was a special teams really salvation, salvaging what could have been a disastrous play to keep from North Paulding getting the football right there at the shadow of the goal line. Tyler Neer at quarterback takes the snap. Will throw. Crank it up deep. Man open. It's not able to hold on. Marcus Taylor was there, but he was not able to hold on.
Man, they hit him in the worst possible place.
Right in the hands.
Right in the hands. You know, like he's smiling back because he knows like that was terrible. Like I should have had that. Watch this ball on the money right here. Busted coverage and just.
He was wide open. He got behind the defense.
He got behind the defense. Look at this. Ball just dropped right in the basket.
Taylor's coming back from an ankle injury. This is a guy that they feel like has really been coming on. So it's easy to understand when they're trying to get him the football. And he was clearly open, but just not able to hold on to it. Running play here. Scott gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Colin Bellamy once again, one of the guys in on that stop.
Man, I tell you, North Paulding went for the knockout punch.
Instead looking at.
Got timeout.
He may have gotten about a half yard that time, so we're going to look at, really 3rd and 9.5, almost a full 10.
Who we got a timeout from?
It's an official's timeout. Yeah. His mic is not on.
Play clock is back working, I believe.
While we have the, so it appears in the first half we had an issue with the play clock, but it appears now that it's back working again. And if it is, North Paulding's going to have to hurry because it's showing 3, now 2. I don't know that Neer knows that. But apparently that's not accurate because it's gone to 0.
Yeah.
And
they may have told them we're going to call it on the field.
Yeah. So Neer takes the snap. Pressure's coming his way. Trying to connect with Scott, but he was under so much duress he couldn't throw it in his normal rhythm.
Yeah, got
a
hold.
Flag's going to come in for what looks like a hold.
Got a hold on a blitzing linebacker guard. Watch the right guard. He gets his money's worth. It's going to be right before this shot here. See the guard there rip him down?
Yeah. Listen, if you're going to do it, do it. If you're going to be a bear, be a Grizzly.
Hey, get your money's worth, man.
Holding. Offense. Decline. 4th down.
So whether it's weather-related or just good defense, we've seen both these offenses sputter a little bit to begin the 3rd quarter. A 3rd quarter that is somewhat rapidly evaporating as well. How about coffee right now on top of Statesboro, 51-0.
How about my Pepperell Dragons in a huge game tonight, beat Darlington 35-10.
How about that?
That's the first time, I believe, in 5 years.
How about that?
Big little rivalry game up in Northwest Georgia.
So Wisenant will punt again. Harrison showing pressure. He dropped the snap again. Second time this has happened today. And it turns into a big play for Harrison. They'll get the football at the 35-yard line. And we've seen back-to-back miscues on punts from both sides here.
He just fumbled that one, I believe.
So the first touchdown of the game was set up by a mishandled punt. In this particular case, that looked to be a really good snap and just not able to kind of squeeze that one in.
Brandon, here's Harrison's opportunity right here. You got a short field. You haven't been able to do anything offensively. You got to get this thing loose, and you got to find number 7.
That's Brady Cluse, Memphis committed wide receiver, forward looking and incomplete. The coverage was by Marcus Rhodes, the free safety.
Let's see here. Good camera view, good camera angle.
It's kind of bang, right?
It's kind of close, yeah. To be honest with you, he was down by his waist, too. I think we're look at the ball. If we get to zoom in on that ball, look how wet this ball is now. Now we're starting to see, Brandon, we're starting to see some. That's going to affect the game a little bit.
I will say, though, both these quarterbacks have thrown the wet ball pretty well.
Yeah.
Amari Watson in motion.
Nice job there.
Yeah. How about that? Braylon Ford just straight up the middle trying to find whatever you can.
Just great quarterback power. Don't mess around. Let's just come downhill on them.
Pick up of 13 for Braylon Ford, and that becomes a a Harrison first down.
Yep, good job there. 74 looking for a man to block down the field. That's a good job when your guard who's pulling can't find anybody to block till 10 or 12 yards down the field.
Amari Watson goes in motion again. And now going to throw and through the hands of Cluse.
I'm telling you, the ball's wet right now.
Cluse has caught everything tonight. So you think about that. You think about the previous drop a moment ago by Marcus Taylor for the North Paulding side. And I think you're starting to see the effects here of a wet football. How much do high schools do that ball is soaked.
Look at that.
How much do high schools do the wet football practice the way the colleges can?
Well, I can tell you this. I don't think anybody anticipated this tonight.
Yeah.
It's more than what you kind of thought, so you don't prepare. I know everybody saw the USC kind of viral video this week.
Oh, you got to get the spray in his
bug
face.
Had the bug sprayer.
At this time, Braylon Ford now, he was under duress, but looked like he kind of slipped down on that as well.
Yep.
Of course, Rowan Sheffield, linebacker, there to help corral him, but once again, the footing kind of hard to come by too.
Yep. I like that quarterback power. Just because it worked a couple plays ago don't mean it won't work this time. If you're in 2-down territory right here, maybe you come back to that. Let's let Ford use his legs to get us some yards.
If the weather gets much worse, we may see the Philadelphia Eagles style Jalen Hurts play where everybody just sort of rugby scrums around him. Ford still in the shotgun, throwing, got a man, pass, not able to hold on.
Man, that was a good
Quentin
ball.
Charles had it, slipped out. Jamari Carter had the coverage. This is a North Paulding team that starts 9 seniors on defense, 3 in the secondary alone.
They just dropped it, tried to catch it with his body. You got to watch him try to catch it with his body, and it just bounced out. You got to go out and attack that ball in front with 2 hands. That was a nice ball by Ford. Frustrating. They're going to try a field goal.
Going to bring on here the field goal attempt. This is going to be about 45 yards here for Simon Zeedon. Zeedon gets it away, and it is good. Zeedon, 45 yards on a wet field.
Tell you what, between that punt and that, it's a heck of a series for him.
Special teams becoming a factor here for Harrison in a positive way. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back.
So great about being a Kroger Boost member? Free delivery on the Kroger products you love. And more rewards too, like double fuel points on everything you buy. Experience a new level of membership, starting as low as $59 a year with Boost by Kroger Plus. Learn more at Kroger.com today.
Are you 18 years of age or older? Become a star. The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is now hiring for deputy sheriff with a signing bonus up to $4,700. They also have civilian and trades positions available. If you are interested in a career with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, visit gogcso.com to learn more about compensation, incentives, benefits, and areas where you can start your career today. Are you ready to rise to the call? Join GCSO today and become a star.
America, come along with our adventure seekers, the Sanchez family, and discover summer with the Ford F-150. See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun. Now get select Ford F-150 trucks with 3.9% financing for 60 months, plus get up to $1,500 cash back with your trade-in, only at your local Ford dealer.
Welcome back, everybody. North Paulding on top, 21-10, but Harrison cuts into the lead a moment ago because of a long field goal, 45 yards by Simon Zeedon there. in the rain, wet football, and you really see it coming down right now in kind of the backdrop with Javaris George there. Now Zedin, who also kind of saved Harrison's bacon on a punt, he was able to get off after the wet football was kind of initially mishandled. So Zedin's become a little bit of a valuable asset, more than a little bit of a valuable asset, quite a valuable asset for the Hoyas here in this third quarter, and weather is a factor.
Brandon, let me ask you the thought process on that. You need touchdowns. Do you just take 3 because, listen, we're down here, we need some momentum?
You know, it could also be one of those things of, well, if you feel like you need 2 touchdowns to tie, well, now you get the field goal that gives you the win in case you're able to get that. So, or, as you said, kind of salvaging something out of what was perhaps the first fragments of some positive momentum.
McEachern comes back and beats Marietta late.
Boy, McEachern getting
they're hot
right now.
They're
after
hot.
Beating Harrison a week ago. Of course, the first-year coach out of the SEC coming into the state of Georgia.
I'm telling you right now, you give Kareem Reed a couple of years at McEachern, and that program right there is going to be somewhere that you don't want to end up on the opposite side on a Friday night.
You see Xavier Walker, the junior running back there. He's really had to step into a much larger role for this team and done so well. We told you earlier, Jaden Clayton, senior running back, not playing tonight. And that's, provided a bigger opportunity for Walker. We've seen a lot, of course, of Calvin Scott, who seems to be healthier now than he has been for much of the year. But Walker's got a bigger role here right now, too. Speaking of that, Walker once again with the carry, and you see a little bit more of a power look right now from North Paulding than you've seen. You also got to look there at Braden Autenreith, the tight end. He looked like he was a little worse to wear. He's going to come out of the game.
Hiram and Cartersville. I tell you, man, you get your money's worth of Cartersville.
Really do. Another terrific game with them. We showed you earlier the success that Dalton's having against Cass tonight, and then Hiram and Cartersville in a shootout. A very good team's going to be left out of that playoff picture.
No doubt, and I have a feeling that that Devin Henderson injury, good job there by defense on 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Javarius George was your intended receiver, but Harrison had that well covered, and after what was clearly North Paulding momentum to end the first half, Harrison has kind of found something here in the third quarter, although they're still seeking that big breakthrough offensive play that gives them a chance to really cut into the league, because even with the field goal, you're still talking about a 2-touchdown deficit.
I still like they had, even though it was 2 drop balls, they had 2 opportunities that went down the field. Cluse dropped one, which is not, kind of consisted of him, and they had another wide receiver on a 3rd down try to body up a ball and where to catch it with your hands. So they got a little bit of momentum.
Wisenhunt mishandled
they got to feel this first. North Paulding.
Wisenhunt mishandled the last one, gets this one cleanly, gets it away, and it's a boomer. Fielded there at the 36, and North Paulding is quickly there to make the tackle. So no problems on special teams for North Paulding there, after that's been an issue a couple of times here tonight. While we have a moment, make sure you join Legacy Reunion, Earth, Wind, and Fire alumni for an evening of monster grooves, high energy, and danceable hits that combine jazz, R&B, disco, and soul. It all takes place Friday, October 20th at the historic Rome City Auditorium. You can purchase your tickets online at www.romega.us/tickets. There's also a QR code that you can scan right there on the screen as well, conveniently enough. Braylon Ford back at it, dump off, middle of the field, pass caught. Ford momentum stops at the 40-yard line. That's Xavier Hill getting involved.
Man, they only give him 1.
Yeah,
I think
2 at the most.
2 at the most there, yeah.
Yeah, ball going to be sat just on the wrong side of the 40-yard line if you're Harrison. Going to put 3 receivers right side. That's Cluse way up at the top there. Handoff up
there
the middle.
New running back?
Yeah, into the 45-yard line, and
22.
Yeah, carry there for Aaron McCarvich. Yeah, first time we've seen McCarvich get a chance to carry it here today.
A little juice to him. Brings up a third, much more manageable 3rd and 4.
How often do we see that play, too, by the way? Put the 3 receivers on one side of the formation and create the opportunity to run?
Just run right back to the bottom of the screen. All right, see if they do it again. Going to roll.
This time it's going to be Ford rolling right. Going to throw and had a diving attempt there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Oh, man.
Trying to connect with Amari Watson, but Watson couldn't hold on to it or could not make the diving attempt, and it's going to be quickly 4th down again.
I think when he goes back and looks at this play, man, he is going to realize if he just tucks this up, he's got it. Watch him roll to the right here. And he needs 4. Look at that.
Yeah, he had the room.
Gets there, yeah.
Had the green grass.
Yep. It's okay. High school quarterback. And it's a lot easier said than done from the box, but that's a play he'll want back. That's something he'll learn from when he goes back and watches that series. Ran a flood route out of trips.
Ford, a first-team All-Region quarterback a year ago. Here's Zeaton, who's been a weapon here lately. He gets a high punt away. Fair catch, call for it. Ball came free. Harrison has fallen on it.
Wow. Special teams for North Paulding. And Harrison's in business, Brandon. 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
And everything that Simon Zeaton touches is coming up gold right now.
He is their MVP so far. Fair catch.
That punt was a mile high.
Oh, he slipped too.
Yeah, Carlisle could not hold on to the very high punt, slipped on the wet turf.
Quentin Charles, nice job. He didn't interfere.
He did not break
Stopped,
the halo.
Break down, cover the ball. Perfect special teams coverage. Now they got Cluse at the top. See if they take a shot right here to 7.
There are some Harrison fans who've been sitting in the rain all night. They are waiting to explode if they can get the big offensive play. That's a handoff. Cutting back, right side, down the sideline. Dropping the shoulder is Xavier Hill.
Man. Brady, watch 7's block at the top. Watch 7. See him standing there? Watch him come up and make this block. Look at that. Just enough to allow his running back, and he finishes this run. Bam. That's talking about getting behind your pads.
Hill, believe it or not, is also the backup quarterback. But showed the classic physicality there. And by the way, we're in the red zone here, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
How about the season Osborne's having?
Handoff straight up the middle. On his feet still. And it's a touchdown. Once again, Xavier Hill from 17 yards out.
We got a football game, Brandon. We got a football game right here. 21, could be 21-17. Big play by Harrison.
And boy, what about the spark that Hill provides there? Lowered his shoulder and got down the sideline on one carry and then created the opportunity for the touchdown run on the next. We told you these Hoyas fans wanted to explode, and they get the score that gives them a chance to do that. Those that are sitting through this rain. And now Harrison's going to show you the 2-point conversion to try to make it a 3-point game.
Roll right. There he is, one.
Looking in zone and a good defensive play by who else? One of the Maddox brothers. Ethan Maddox got a paw on that and prevented the 2-point conversion. The obvious math being that you can cut it to a field goal lead if you can connect on that.
Late. This is a 2-point flood play. Everybody runs. You're going to pick at the top and to get the underneath right there. He just throws it late. And it gives Maddox enough time.
That also gives us a chance to check out the team schedule here, presented by Personal Touch Lawn Care. Looking at Harrison, of course, a loser last week to McEachern. You talked to Josh Cassidy about that. He said we gave up some rushing yards, but really didn't feel like we got pushed around physically in that game. So, a lot to take from that. And of course, big win earlier this year against a good Pebblebrook team. Handled Kennesaw Mountain here a little earlier this year, too. Now looking ahead to after this week, you're thinking about Hillgrove and Marietta also in region play. And hard to believe they're coming to the end of their regular season slate here. That's amazing to consider, but it's really getting to be the truth.
Tell you what, this is going to be another region where one of these teams is out. You know what I mean? And Marietta loses a awful in the night. McEachern comes back late to win that game for this region.
So Zeed will be on to kick off again, and he's just going to boom it.
He's got a hammer.
Deep.
He's got a
touchback.
hammer.
Wow.
He kicked that in the cold mist.
All right, so all of a sudden, as we are coming up on the end of the third quarter, we're going to see North Paulding in a situation we haven't seen them in quite some time. They've been nursing a lead, probably playing confidently because of that, but now they need a drive to slow down what suddenly has become a great deal of Harrison momentum.
And listen, it hadn't been the offensive side. It's been special teams. They got to get something going so they don't have to punt again.
Yeah, they've had two big issues with that. One led to a touchdown, another led to a field goal, so both botches have resulted in points. Anderson becomes detached over here on the right side. That's a handoff. Scott up to the 25-yard line. And that's going to bring our third quarter to the close. Let me correct myself. That's Xavier Walker on the carry. And it'll be second down when we return. 12 minutes to go. Major region implications here. A battle between Harrison and North Paulding. It's been a good one. Final 12, the best yet. We'll be right back on the Peachtree Sports Network.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports.
Attention military personnel, families, and civilians who were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987. If you or a loved one lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune, call the Victims Justice Group now. You may be entitled to significant compensation. The U.S. government recently passed a law allowing servicemen and women, their family members, and civilian workers who lived or worked on the base at Camp Lejeune for at least 30 days to seek justice for injuries caused by toxic water. If you or a loved one suffered injuries associated with the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, including bladder, kidney, or liver cancer, multiple myeloma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's disease, adult leukemia, or aplastic anemia, call the Victims Justice Group now. Our attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve for your pain and suffering. Military personnel, their families, and civilian workers who served, lived, or worked at Camp Lejeune from August 1953 to December 1987 may be eligible for compensation. Don't wait. Call our helpline now.
All right, I'm here with Coach Cassidy. Coach, big third quarter for you guys. You guys are back in this game. What have you seen tonight?
Yeah, I mean, tale of two halves. We just got to go finish.
Big defensive stand coming up right here. Great third quarter. We'll see what happens in the fourth.
Thank you, Craig Sager and Josh McCasty there as well. And to give you an idea, as North Paulding goes back on offense, this is North Paulding's first region game this year here in Region 3 of 7A. Marietta McEachern already 1-0 in region play. Harrison Hillgrove already 0-1. So you're talking about 4 spots for 5 teams, and a good team going to be left out. That's the nature of competition here in Georgia high school football. That's a throw on first down and a catch by Austin Nagy into Hoya territory there at the 49-yard line. Pickup of 25 yards.
I tell you, this quarterback right here stands in the pocket under pressure and delivers that.
That is a wet football.
A wet football.
Yeah, I mean, as a smaller in stature quarterback, you want to compare him to the likes of a Doug Flutie, but he's far smaller than Flutie.
He's not. I don't know that I've seen, to be honest, man, and it's not a knock on him because this kid's a player.
He's playing like he's 6'8".
I don't think I've seen a player that small in 7A in Georgia, and he's playing just as good as anybody we've had all year. He throws a great ball.
It is fun to watch. Just a sophomore there as well. This is a young guy. And, much like we talked about last week with a couple of sophomore quarterbacks, including Brody McWhorter from the Cass side of things, the game starts to slow down. McWhorter actually played a pretty good bit of football, and so you start to see the game slow down for you, and it seems like that's kind of what Near's experiencing right now, too. Handoff once again to Calvin Scott. Scott down to the 45, a little bit of late contact after that.
Getting a little chippy here.
Yeah, Ajax Anderson was calling for a penalty, but none going to be forthcoming. Going to be looking at 3rd and 6 now. If you've been watching other games tonight, we're glad to have you settling in to see what we got going on here.
Yeah.
It's North Paulding up 21-16. So Harrison, if you're just joining us, was 7-0. Then North Paulding built a halftime lead of 21-7. And since then, it's been the Hoyas here in the 3rd quarter trying to find some momentum. Calvin Scott on the carry on 3rd down. That's going to bring up a 4th down situation.
Will be 3rd. Is it 4th down? Okay.
Going to be 4th down coming up here. 4th and about 2. Line to make is the 39. Ball rests the 41.
Are they going Wildcat? Yeah, Wildcat again.
Wildcat again. This was a touchdown earlier. That's the snap. Straight ahead. 1st down. Plenty of blocking down to the 35-yard line. So the guy that got the touchdown for them earlier, Danny Pitts out of the Wildcat, gets the 1st down there.
They just moving people. Look at them blocking. Number 10, Oneith, just driving that defensive end. Look at my man signaling in over there. Hey, everybody's involved. I like it, 57.
Yeah.
Call that play, man.
I like it.
Everybody works.
Under 9 minutes in regulation. Fake the handoff. Now throwing. Middle of the field. How about that?
Man.
Off the hands of Ajax Anderson. And Javarius George there to haul it in at the 10-yard line. It's 25 yards on the catch.
Man, he whips that. Now, that's high. He threw that ball high, but that thing jumps out of his hand.
We're in the red zone presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. And if Anderson doesn't deflect that, I don't think that's a reception for George. In hockey, you can have 2 guys that get an assist on the same play. Perhaps that's the case here, too. Once again, the Wildcat handoff going the way of Pitts.
Tell you, in that set right there, Maddox 8, Oneith 10. They're just moving people. Brennan, they're getting 3 or 4 before anybody touches it. They're gonna come right back to it. They're not even trying to hide it.
Keep it simple here right now.
Look, they got both of the Maddox twins in front. You got 10.
This is an old school looking formation here right now. Pitts takes the snap, looking for the block, kind of dancing around there. But this time,
much better job.
Yeah, Harrison's there to meet him in the backfield.
He stood him up.
Yeah, really good job that time by Jackson Connors, junior defensive back, who's in the backfield to bring down Pitts.
Nice job there. 99, 59, 99, 59. You got Bellamy. Got Nagy just kind of setting a wall there for Harrison, not allowing him to get any positive yards. Big play here, Brandon. 3rd and goal. Cannot give up 6 right here with 7 to go and the clock running.
You mentioned Jaden Nagy. That's another guy on that Harrison defense. He's kind of gotten some college attention. Austin P. Reinhardt, and they'll talk about him as a very important part of that defensive story. Now, they're going to go back to near and kind of the traditional look on offense on what's 3rd and goal here now. Scott, the running back, goes in motion. Throwing, the ball slipped out of his hand.
Yep.
He did not get a good grip on that. Yep. That's going to bring up 4th down. So that's clearly the ill effects of the wet football.
Yep.
And before we have this 4th down play, we'll tell you that the defending 7A state champs have gotten the season's biggest win to date here by beating Buford, nationally ranked and #1 Buford. Mill Creek has gotten the win there. So you've been following that game tonight, we're happy to have you joining us now on the Peachtree Sports Network. Aiden Noble going to come on now and try a field goal. This one's going to be 24 yards. We saw Harrison get one earlier. Now Noble gets his chance to try one. Good. And the kick is good. And North Paulding can extend its lead here. So both these teams have connected on field goals tonight. And North Paulding turns it into an 8-point lead. We'll be right back after a quick timeout.
His car.
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
Hendrick. Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
My marriage kind of took a different path. He told me he was not moving back into the home. My biggest fear was the unknown. What would happen with the children and myself? What would happen with the house? I found Meriwether and Tharp. They told me that they would walk me through this divorce, and they did that tenfold. You need an attorney. You need the best attorney, and that's going to be Meriwether and Tharp.
And North Paulding has extended its lead back to 8 here after the Aiden Noble field goal a moment ago. See a good look in the background there of the North Paulding student section traveling over from Dallas. Noble short kickoff here. Fielded their 25-yard line. Not much doing on that return. Good job on special teams by the Wolfpack to prevent that, including Jamari Carter in on that stop.
Cartersville is up on Hiram, 35-34. 1 minute, 20 seconds left.
And another amazing season potentially being put together by Cartersville, as deep as the region has been. We've talked about what Dalton has done, what Cass has done at times, obviously what Calhoun has done. You and I saw Calhoun earlier this year. I was very impressed with them.
Had Cartersville 17.5 and lost that game.
And yet, after all of this, Cartersville may still be undefeated. That's a very impressive regular season mark here thus far. Big hit and nowhere to go. Mark David, the senior defensive tackle, in on that stop. And for Harrison, just a hard time getting that running game going tonight.
Yeah, had a few plays here and there, but unable to get anything consistently.
About 64 points for Carrollton tonight against Pebblebrook as our Breda Pest Management score ticker rolls on.
We say it every week, Brandon. These 7A playoffs are going to be fun to watch.
No doubt. Ford shakes free. He's got room to run. Tries to get a block. Does. First down yardage and then out of bounds past the 40-yard line.
That's a big part of his game, and he's been unable to do that for the most part tonight. When you get out of your rush lanes, if you're a man-to-man coverage, it runs everybody off, and Ford can hurt you with his feet.
Finds the right time for that right now. Ball rests at the 41. 6:04 to go. Harrison needs a touchdown and a two-point conversion to tie it. Ford will throw. Tried to connect with Brady Cluse, but not on target, and that's going to bring up second down.
Man, that's that long throw, Brandon, when you go from hash to the other side of the field.
You brought up Osborne a little earlier, beating Cherokee tonight.
You, man.
Win against Kennesaw Mountain last week.
Great job. We see this every year. A team like that kind of comes out of, you just don't think of Osborne in football, but
not in a long time.
They have got it going on right now.
Alma mater of Julia Roberts, is that correct?
No, she went to Campbell, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I know that.
Brady Cluse.
We're getting way too much information about Julia Roberts right here. We got Griffin Middle School. We got elementary schools.
Ball on the 46 now. Line to gain is the 51. It's just 51, 49. On the North Paulding side of the field. Tight coverage up to the top of your screen. You see that. That's a pass. Oh! Noah Scott had the coverage, but it's incomplete. Had a chance to bring that one in, just not able to do so. Quentin Charles was the intended receiver. Simon Zeaton, who's done so much right here in the second half, saved what could have been a touchdown by getting a punt away when the whole world was imploding around Harrison on a fourth down play. Kicked a long field goal, kicked a high punt that resulted in a fumble that resulted in a Harrison touchdown. Can he do it again? Gets another good punt away. This is going to create good field position. Yeah, they're going to be able to down this thing inside the 5-yard line, right there at the 3. So that's the best Harrison could hope for under those circumstances.
That's a big play, Brandon. Get them pinned up right here. Got to play field position.
And now North Paulding has a long drive to perhaps put this game on ice if they can do it. Of course, group ticket packages are available right now for your Atlanta Falcons home games. You can learn more about options for youth sports teams, client hosting events, and more online at atlantafalcons.com/tickets.
What is Falcons football? It's Grady putting quarterbacks on notice. It's Kyle shredding defenses like a unicorn. It's Tyler breaking tackles like phone screens. It's AJ locking down anyone on his island. It's Drake touching the sun. It's ZP breaking another record. What is Falcons football? It's all you dirty birds. Rise up.
All right, back at it here from the 3-yard line. Tyler Neal take the snap in the end zone. North Paulding can win it with a long drive here. Harrison wants the football back with the chance to tie. Those are the stakes. We're under 5 minutes to go in the game. Second week for us here on the Peachtree Sports Network, and we're happy to have you joining us.
No pressure. 3 good games in a row, starting with Houston County.
That's right, yeah.
Lee County, then we go Cartersville Cass. Next week we will be at Cale High School for a big matchup of GAC. Greater Atlanta Christian comes over at a huge region matchup.
Yeah, GAC's had a great season thus far. I'm excited about seeing Kell again for a second time. We obviously saw them against a tough 7A squad in Parkview to begin the year. A little bit different type of evaluation seeing them this week. Going to throw it deep. Ball kind of slipped out of his hand when he threw it. George made an incredibly athletic move to have a chance to catch it. Maki Andrade also had really good coverage.
And he throws a good ball.
Yeah.
Just great. Hey, what I like about that is he got his head back around and made a play on the ball.
It didn't seem like he had a great grip on it, but as you said, the replay showed the spiral is actually pretty good. So whatever grip he did have, he got enough to get it away. And George gave himself a chance to make the catch.
Not the biggest kid.
Probably
not the biggest hands.
Third down.
Don't care. He can spin it.
Okay, so this third down, even if it's not a first down conversion, is important because we've seen we've seen issues for North Paulding on a couple of punts. They obviously don't want to do that now from the end zone. So let's see if they can create some room if they do indeed have to punt on the following play. 3rd and 8.
You got to hand off here. You got to get some space, I would think.
Near is in the shotgun. He's standing in the end zone. Here comes pressure. Near to throw again. George is there, caught 15-yard line. That's going to be good for first down.
Great route, stick route, just to the stick, turn around, timing play. Here I am wanting to get 3 yards and punt. North Paulding says no, sir. First down.
That is a throw that feels like someone older than a sophomore would have made it. Very
Timing.
poised.
On the
Obviously,
money.
George is a great player, but it takes a lot to get him the football in that situation. And it was well-timed and, as Rusty said, on the money.
Comes out of his break right there.
3:46, clock ticks. Tight end goes in motion. That's the handoff, and it's hit in the backfield. Harrison is there.
Ethan Harris as well.
Yeah.
Number 9, see him. He stepped right in there. They tried to pull Ajax Anderson in motion. And he just steps up and takes on the block and makes the tackle. Nice job. Also, Bellamy, 99.
That's right. He
sets
was
the edge, too.
The blue numbers in the green jersey is not the easiest thing to see. Bellamy not too hard to notice, though. Braden Autenreith, the tight end, kind of moves over to the left side of the formation. That's a pass complete at the 21-yard line. Third down coming up. It's going to be third about 4.5, I guess.
Harrison with 3 timeouts. Got to start making a decision right here.
Yeah, boy, this clock is evaporating. You see a look there at Don Stark.
He's telling him, settle down, settle down.
Yeah, he wants as much of this clock to be used as possible. Keep in mind also, we've been keeping the play clock on the field since early first half. Doesn't seem to have been an issue yet. On third down, near, pressure comes, flag down, pass caught, and if the play stands, it's a first down, but let's see what the flag is. Dubé Inagene is the man to bring home the first down catch if it stands. No indication yet, although North Paulding is moving back.
Illegal shift, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
All right, so that backs them up. Now, this is 2 consecutive third down throws. Obviously, the last play didn't count because of the penalty, where Neer has stepped up and delivered the football. To Inagene on that play, taken away by penalty, and to George prior to that. So if you want to see a sophomore quarterback grow up before your eyes, that is what this drive has been for North Paulding here thus far.
Been impressed with this young man. You go back and look at this game. If Harrison does lose this, you go back and look at just a few opportunities here and there and a few things and think what could have been.
And you'll go back to that end of quarter sequence at the end of the first half, where
100%.
The faked punt was called.
They turn around and score.
Turn around and scored on that after the really kind of a botch fake punt where the up man took the snap, couldn't hold on to the football, turned into a failed try, but also essentially a fumble. Let's hear the huddle here.
We're protecting the stick. You gotta protect the stick.
Boy, a great scene there. Protect the sticks, meaning keep it in front of that first down marker. Fun to be in the huddle like that.
Got a little Fenway Park going on here, a little Sweet
That's
Caroline.
Right, a little Sweet Caroline. All right, huge moment here. 3rd and 9. Dump off, caught on the screen.
Good
tackle
job.
made, 20-yard line. And Harrison is equal to the task defensively. They're in position to get the football back. Hoy has also called timeout to stop the clock. Colin O'Hara, one of the guys in on that stop again. Calvin Scott was the running back who caught the football.
talking to the Harrison staff before the game, and you know me, I kind of always like to dig into some things, and staff will stay tonight. They'll grade film till probably 2 a.m.
Wow.
Get back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Players get here at 9. Watch tape. They talk about next week. Players leave. Coaches start working on next week's game plan and get out of here about 1 p.m.
Man.
And I don't think people realize what goes into an entire week. And then to end it, grading, showing your kids the next morning, it's a lot of work goes into high school football, man.
It really is. Guys who've devoted their life to it for the betterment of the players who play. And that's why we have so much respect for so many of these coaches, because, you know, football makes men. Obviously, a lot of these guys going to play college football and some going to play in the NFL, but all of them grow up to be, you know, leaders in the community, business owners.
I'd say it a million times. You lost the perspective of the ability to be a teammate, handle adversity in life, not just on the football field.
All right, Wisnon's had his issues with taking punts tonight. That's a high snap. He did hold on to it. The punt, though, not quite as deep as some of his been in the past, and it becomes a return opportunity inside the 39-yard line for Xavier Hill. All right, so we're going to take a quick timeout, and then it's going to be Harrison driving with a chance to try to tie this game. Good drama coming up, folks.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
Call 800-700-4989 now for a free legal consultation. Again, that's 800-700-4989.
Oh, yeah, dude, that doesn't look good.
I know what to do. I'm going to cashnetusa.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, I can have the money as soon as the same business day.
Go to cashnetusa.com to apply for the money you need.
It's the season of back to school, back to work, and back to all the wonderful flavors of fall. At Ingles, we're here to help this fall be the best season of the year. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 613. Electrify your career. Gordo's, Fiesta every day. Personal Touch Lawn Care. The smallest details make the biggest difference. Merriweather and Tharp. Merriweather and Tharp LLC. The AtlantaDivorceTeam.com. R.S. Andrews. Story after story, we deliver smiles. And by Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of Atlanta.
Welcome back, everybody. 1:49 to go in our game. Harrison has the football, trailing by 8 points here. Trying to score the touchdown and get the 2-point conversion that could tie it. Braylon Ford will step up now and take off and run on first down. Brought down now around the 31-yard line. Carrington Bird makes the tackle. Second down coming up now for Harrison.
Foot gets kind of hung up right here in the turf. Watch right here. Oh.
Yeah, that could have almost been ugly.
Yeah.
Ford shotgun snap. Looking to throw towards the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Brady Cluse is there to bring it home from 38 yards.
And Brandon Ford is limping. He's doing all he can right here. He's not coming out. And he finds his guy really unable to plant. And Cluse just does the rest. Now, here we go, 2-point play. Are they going to call a timeout? So here's the one thing about this. You're not going to be able to roll Ford out too much. A little bit of a limp out of his right leg.
He took an awkward fall, as Rusty said, on that
see if they
first
throw,
down
see
run.
if they come to 7 here on the fade route, maybe the top of the screen.
The 2-point conversion would tie it. Ford loses the football. And the try will fail, and that was not a fully healthy Braylon Ford right there.
Nope.
But an incredible job by North Paulding to get the stop, preserve the lead now with 1:20. That is our game's key defensive stop, presented by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. Let's see it. So tuck the football back to perhaps run. At that point in time, Danny Pitts, who's had quite a game on both sides of the ball, was there to knock it loose.
Still got an onside left.
That's right. Yeah, game's not over.
Would have.
Harrison can stop it once more as well.
Would like to see a timeout there just to collect your breath, give your quarterback just a second to see where he is. And 44 down for North Paulding.
Yeah, that's Dylan Harris, a senior defensive lineman. Of course, these cheerleaders showing a lot of respect by taking a knee for the injured player. Looks like Harris is going to be able to mostly walk off in his own power, somewhat gingerly there. We'll take that, make that our injury report presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Best wishes to Dylan there that he's okay. Seems to be walking okay. A little slow there. Hope for the best for him. A little bit ginger.
Yeah, you hate to see anybody get hurt anytime,
That's
especially
right.
this late in the game. 2-point play, and here comes the hands team.
Now remember, this kind of puts the ball, so to speak, back in the hands, or the foot, I guess the better way to say it, of Simon Zeden, who has been huge for Harrison.
Let's see if North Paulding sees the formation and calls timeout.
So they're going to put.
So do they have? Okay, you got 1, 2. They're split even.
Yeah.
So you don't really know which way they're leaning and which way he likes to kick it.
So Zeden going to try the extra point. Excuse me, the onside kick.
Yep.
And now with that in mind, that's going to give North Paulding a chance to call timeout and talk about it.
They'll inbound play.
That's right.
Let's see your formation.
Just like in basketball, you see how they come out and how they line up, and that gives you a chance to talk about it. And I guess it gives the chance here on the Harrison side of things for Josh Cassidy to perhaps show a different look coming out of this. At other levels of football, Rusty, we've seen the onside kick almost completely disappear. There are not a lot of onside kick recoveries anymore.
No.
Rule changes have kind of made that an issue.
Safety.
Obviously a player safety thing. But in high school football, it's still a much bigger part of this. In fact, even during the regular course of the game, you see onside kicks sometimes be a bigger part of this. So if you're used to kind of seeing this being a formality on Sundays or perhaps Saturdays, what's about to happen here is by no means a formality.
Final, Mill Creek 31, Buford 24.
An unbelievable win for the defending 7A state champs. And we saw him in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic.
Last year, Buford beat Mill Creek, and Mill Creek come back to win that. So
yeah, the bracket opened up after obviously Walton beat Buford in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But this is a Mill Creek team that I think is.
Yeah, you said it.
All right. Simon Zeden here to keep Harrison alive. Short kick, bounces, rolling, and it's going to go out of bounds. Flag comes in for the ball out of bounds. Probably a little bit too much mustard on that.
You just knew he was going to have a good effort, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's a weapon.
If you could have gotten one more turnover right there, one more rotation of that football.
5-yard penalty will be added to where it went out of bounds. First down receiving team.
We talk about, go back to Mill Creek, you and I kind of giggle because when we got off the preseason Corky Kell.
Our first conversation.
First conversation with Josh Lovelady. They couldn't even find 11. Just didn't know what they were going to do. We're just trying to find 11
We're just trying to find 11 to play the game.
we don't even know where we're at right now. Guys can't get their helmets buckled up.
Oh, yeah, the ultimate poor mouthing. And we sort of saw through that at the time.
No doubt. We even giggled and said, Coach, we're not buying that, buddy.
But it's great offensive line, and it looks like right now for North Paulding, they can go into victory formation, and what a win this is going to prove to be for them coming on the road.
But I'll say this, man, Harrison has something to show their kids, their tape. And there's 3 or 4 plays in this game that was the difference, but you showed fight all the way to the end, and you can build on that.
That's a final timeout there called by Harrison, and a chance for us to show the play of the game here. And how about the kind of double touch here? Ajax Anderson, the tight end, gets a hand on it. He's trying to catch it, but it's his deflection that creates the opportunity for George to make the catch, and that set up the touchdown there, or I should say set up a field goal for North Paulding.
It's kind of ironic, I would sort of say, that with George and how he impacts the game, the defensive philosophy around him, and the stress he puts on Harrison defend him every play. He still had 3 or 4 chunk plays tonight. And again, I'll say this, coaches around the country looking for a guy in the 2024 class.
Oh, ball came out. What happened there?
No, they knocked it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man, it's a nice try.
It's almost reminiscent of when Greg Schiano was the coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they're
going to huddle. They're at least getting a huddle out of it.
Yeah. That's our ball, you see. If you're a lip reader, you can easily see that. Now, be careful doing too much lip reading. But
I'm going to tell you, if they change this call right here, we're going to need some chaperones.
The conversation's still ongoing. You see Ryan Bechtel, the senior left guard, he's not sure exactly what that's about. Conversation is still ongoing.
What we got here?
What's funny is the whistle blew. So let's see what happens here. Yeah.
It's almost like a cat.
After blowing the ball ready for play, the defense slapped the ball. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense. And it's first down.
Listen, I give them an 8 for effort because at least they got the officials to discuss it.
That's exactly right. Unfortunately, they were discussing how much to penalize Harrison for. So that's more than just a delay of game. That's an unsportsmanlike for, that's our game's key first down as well, presented by the Atlanta Falcons. I would advise never to do that, but definitely don't do that during a TV game because it becomes way too easy to see. Harrison's going to do what they can here. Oh, wait a second now. This may be something different.
Yeah.
This may be something different. No, one of the officials coming in to say that he's down. This is not the same thing as before.
And the clock's running now.
Yeah, clock's running now. North Paulding start to feel it. Ryan Bechtel celebrating there.
If they're going to attack like this, I believe they're going to have to go shotgun and down it.
All right, let's watch here.
Them. They're timing, trying to jump over.
Yeah. And Neer was probably a little late getting his knee down on that. Ultimately, he did not fumble it, though. But
no, they're going real tight. Yeah, I would definitely milk the clock because if they get this snap off, it's over.
Yeah, remember, the play clock is being kept on the field, so they're going to try to get every second they can out of this.
You don't see this much.
No.
Yeah, that's what I say. Go shotgun and just down it.
Under 10 seconds.
Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. What happened?
What happened there? What happened there? Officials talking. Ball came loose. They're going to say it's a Harrison football.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Oh,
Harrison has
wow.
the football. There are only 5 seconds left. How did this go down? Let's watch here. So Neer went to the shotgun. Did it get slapped again? If so, wow. The North Paulding sideline's not going to like that.
They are not going to like that at
The
all.
North Paulding-
You see Coach Stark out on the field.
Now, we'll remind you that in the state championship, there is instant replay review, and I'm assuming this would be a reviewable play.
Yeah, it definitely would be reviewable in the playoffs, in the dome.
But it's
not
obviously
here.
not reviewable right now. And you should imagine this is one of those things where, like, Don Stark gives you the perfect, description of what's going on here. He can't believe that this has been.
Well, when the ball squirts to the left 8 yards.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't even make any sense in terms of how that could have been a fumble.
And I tell you, credit to Harrison.
Now, listen, they did not give up on this. We'll see it again.
Look at this.
I mean, you're as bunched together as anybody can be, and it's just going to be a slap.
Yeah, look, 55 was
He's
never.
Like, what's going on?
I was never even able to snap it.
Walker Carpenter, the senior center, he says, what's going on there?
He said that's twice. I just read his lips. He said that's twice.
And in this particular case, Don Stark is on the side of the Angels here.
He's going to need to double the offering plate after this conversation this weekend if he gets out of here with a win.
So it's an incredible turn of events.
Now here's reality. You got to go a long way.
Yeah, you've only got 5 seconds.
And it's got to take a long time for these receivers to get down the field, unless you're going to just try to throw it around and run the old hook and ladder.
Yeah, can you run the schoolyard play here? North Paulding's got 3 guys way back. Going to have to hurry.
Last play
Ford,
for sure.
Looking around, trying to find somebody, gets it away.
Got to toss.
That's caught. Can he toss it and lateral it? No, he can't. He's going to get. So he gets slammed down. Ball came out, but now the game's going to be over.
Yep.
And that's going to bring out the North Paulding sideline. They're obviously a little bit of a fever pitch right now because of what they felt like was an egregious error to even give Harrison the football. That's why you got the emphatic slam down on the tackle and the little extra celebration on the North Paulding sideline. So that had the potential of turning into something.
You see Coach Stark. Craig Sager's about to interview him, and he's going to be a little bit. I want to hear what he's got to say about that 2 plays there.
Hopefully we've got 7-second delay for Stark's interview coming up. Obviously,
we better watch this one.
He's obviously a great man, but he's
man.
in not a great mood here right now because of what happened at the end. Pretty obviously a wrong call there that gave Harrison one more shot, even if it was a long shot with the ball at the 38-yard line. Now, it's a terrific game. Both teams played very well. And North Paulding comes on the road and gets a great win. The man responsible, the architect of it all, is the coach, Don Stark. Our Craig Sager Jr. is standing by with him right now. Coach, what did you think about all of that? Let's hear Craig with Coach right now.
All right, I'm here with Coach Stark. That game maybe wasn't the prettiest. You guys had the big lead. That last series, I don't think I've seen anything like it. It looked like maybe they hit it out of the center's hand. Just what were your thoughts on that last series?
I mean, that's what we thought they were doing. We thought they were, an unindicator before we had a chance to snap the ball. He's slapping the ball out of his hands. They said they didn't see it, but, it is what it is. We got out of here with a victory. We helped them out with some special teams miscues, and we got to clean that up and hopefully get ready for McKeachie.
Absolutely, and you guys were coming off the bye, a big region opener for you guys. You guys are the reigning region champs. Just what does it mean to come away with a victory tonight?
Well, it was good. Harrison's a tough football team. They're well coached, bunch of hard-nosed kids, and this is the first time we've ever beaten them, I believe, in school history at the varsity level. So it was a good win for us. Enjoy it for 40 hours and get ready for McKeachie.
And then defensively, you guys played really tough tonight. It made it extremely difficult, big stops. Let's talk about the defensive effort.
Our defense has played great all year. Really, what kept them in the game was special teams miscues, and we got to clean that up.
And then also, one last question. Ajax at Anderson, thought he came up some big plays in the second quarter, big role tonight. What'd you see?
Yeah, he's done a great job. We've got 2 really good tight ends, and Ajax did a good job making plays. He can run, block, and catch, and we're very fortunate to have him.
Awesome. Congrats on the win, Coach. We'll check that replay out, but we'll be back with our players of the game.
Yankee Wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years. Purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover.
To redefine yourself.
To improve yourself.
To challenge yourself.
To realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools.
The best training.
The best technology in the world.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Okay, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Hendrick. Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
Welcome back to the Tailgate Show presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm with the Gatorade Offensive Player of the Game, Javarius George, and Defensive Player of the Game, Gatorade Defensive Player of the Game, Ethan Maddox. Javarius, I want to start with you, man. It seems like when the bright lights come out, you always shine. 4 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, GPB. Big time game tonight. Why, when the lights are brightest, you just play the best?
I know that I have an opportunity to, prove myself in front of everybody in the world. I have an opportunity to bring attention to my team. It's not a lot of things that we done did. So I feel like, I'm able to do my thing, win on a cold start and, do my best.
Yes, sir. And then, Ethan, I want to go through a specific series. Right before halftime, you guys get a 14-point turnaround. You guys get a big stop. What's going through your head? They had some good field position on you guys' 20-yard line. You get the stop. What's kind of the message in the huddle during that?
We're not stressing much. We know what we can do. We practice it all week. It's just routine for us.
Sir. And then, Javarius, I want to talk about that double move for the touchdown. Man, it was a great play. Walk me through what's kind of going through your head when you see the kind of defender on you and you get open, you get the big touchdown.
It's really cool start play calling. He reads the defense well. He tries to give me the ball in space as much as possible. I just did my thing, executed what he taught me.
Yes, sir. And then I want to go to the end of the game. Kind of some craziness down there, but you guys, get stops late. You're flying around to the ball, Ethan. So what's just your mentality out there when you get out there? And what is kind of describe the environment, playing in the rain, staying focused, and kind of being there for your team?
Yeah, well, we knew it'd be hard. It's the last play, so we had to go out and do what we're supposed to do. But rain didn't affect us much. We knew they were going to run the ball a little more.
And last thing, how sweet is it to get the first win against this team? First ever time beating them on prime time on TV. How good of a feeling was that?
It's great. Coach Stark talks about it all the time. We're 0-3 against them. Now we're 1-3, so got to win.
All right, guys. So I'm going to present the MVP award, Robbie Hunt MVP Report, to Javarius George. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. We're going to toss the break. Be back on the other side with Kaylee and Craig for the wrap-up.
Power Nation is your source for authentic automotive how-to. Detroit Muscle, celebrating the passion and performance of Motor City Cool. Truck Tech, smoking the streets, and tackling the trails are just part of highway hauling fun. Engine power, it's high cranking performance with the science of speed and torque. And our newest show, Car Kiss, imagination, fabrication, and plenty of perspiration. Let the thrill begin. Power Nation.
It was 4 days, and he was going to kill me, it's believed, on the day that I was rescued.
At Investigate TV Plus, every day we go in depth.
How do you process that?
With investigations that expose the truth.
Is this a nationwide issue that we're dealing with here?
With real people.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Facing real problems.
We thought, they're going to let her go.
Revealing real-life solutions that keep your family safe.
It will save lives, no doubt about it.
Investigate TV Plus. Check local listings at investigatetv.com.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports.
Mo.
This Movember, the moustache is calling once more. Raise funds, save lives. Sign up at Movember.com.
And welcome back to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Score Atlanta reporter Craig Sager. Craig, the last 3 games, it feels like we have gotten so lucky. We've had some amazing games out here, but I don't think anything comes quite close to what we just experienced in the last 2 minutes of what happened on that field. What were your thoughts on the final possessions?
Well, obviously the weather, the conditions, that factored into the whole game, but it's crazy to think it came down to a 2-point conversion, and then the ending was wild. I was over there on the North Paulding sidelines. Wow, they couldn't believe what they just saw. Harrison got one last chance, and then just a big region victory for North Paulding. Coming off a bye, sloppy game, the conditions, but I really like their offense. A lot of guys involved, and, I mean, they look really tough.
And they're in a region with 5 teams. With the outcome tonight, where does the region stand?
All right, so you got McEachern is still unbeaten. I think they came back on Marietta. So you're going to have Hillgrove. I think they're currently 0-2. And you got Marietta, and then Harrison's going to be 0-2 as well. So 5 teams, 4 playoff spots. Anything can happen. We saw a 3-way tie last year, I think. That's what left McEachern out. So a lot to play. But right now it's going to be North Paulding and McEachern.
And speaking of anything can happen, we've got some games to go over tonight. There were some crazy ones out there. This is our scoreboard brought to you by Score Atlanta. Of course, we just mentioned that McEachern-Marietta game. McEachern came back at the end. The game I want to talk about, wow, Archer Parkview. Get this, Craig. The wide receiver William Wallace for Archer scores 2 touchdowns in the first half. Archer's quarterback goes down. They put William Wallace in at quarterback, and he leads Archer to a massive victory over Parkview.
Huge win. Parkview's only loss was that close one to Mill Creek a few weeks ago. Top 10 team. Out of all the shocking results tonight, people are going to see that score, and it just goes to show that region is outstanding. And who's going to be the front runner? You got Newton, a big win over Brookwood. They're still undefeated. The Newton Parkview game's coming up, so I'm just really impressed. And now Archer's thrown itself in the mix.
Taking a look at our next set of scores, some big games on the board. Colquitt County and Camden County was close all night. Colquitt continues to impress us. Year in and year out, their program is one of the top performers, and they get the win tonight over Camden County. Kell beat Cambridge tonight. We will see Kell in next week's matchup. What else stands out to you?
Colquitt's been the kings of South Georgia. Yes. And then the second half for Kell, that was I think they were down 21-20. Huge response from them. That offense is really clicking. This is the first game in a while. They've played 4 quarters, and they're lighting up the scoreboard. So is GAC. That game at next week's going to be tremendous in 5A.
Taking a look at our next set of scores, Walton shuts out Kennesaw Mountain 49-0. But the game we have to talk about, the game heard round the world, well, at least not for the last 20 seconds when ESPN decided to cut it off. But Mill Creek over Buford. Mill Creek was getting a bad rap this year for not being the same team that they were last year. Obviously 7A reigning state champions, but they come out with a statement tonight over Buford in a game that went down to the final minutes.
There were so many big plays in that game from what I saw, but I think what it came down to, I saw someone talk about a lot of drop passes for Buford. You had a big goal line stand for Mill Creek, Cam Robinson getting his touchdowns, and then just the big goal line stands, and then at the end, this Mill Creek team, the resolve they've shown to go out there, get the win over Buford, the pieces they've lost, I just can't credit Coach Lovelady, the staff, and just that program enough. That is a huge win for them, still undefeated, and now in the driver's seat in that region.
Moving on to our next set of scores, this is our 6A bracket. Josh Niblett and the Gainesville Red Elephants continue to impress. It doesn't seem like anybody has come even close to slowing their roll yet. Hopefully we'll get to see them later down the season. And Jones County in a close win over Dutchtown, 35-28. Craig, what do you have?
It's a big win for Sequoia. They just recently lost to Rome. So this is kind of who is going to be the number 2 seed in that region. Creekview still has to play Rome, so that was a big win for the Chiefs. to follow that up. And then Gainesville, they're coming off a bye. It seems like they've gotten better and better each week, and they did not skip a beat. A huge win once again. Gainesville looking great on both sides of the ball. And then shout out to Coffee. They've been number one in a lot of recent polls in 5A. They just keep dominating, 51-0 over Statesboro in that region.
And moving forward, man, Cartersville is building a reputation for itself. They were down going into the final minutes of the game. I believe this is the third game in the row that they were either down at halftime or down going into the fourth quarter. They come back, get another close win, and then Dalton with a huge win over Cass. We thought Cass might come back and redeem themselves after that tough loss to Cartersville last week, but man, Dalton is looking good.
Yep, that's another outstanding region, but you talk about Cartersville, all these close wins. They play 8 home games this year, and I know those fan bases, it's just every single week, just a heart attack game and another comeback, another wild finish. They are still undefeated, and that's going to distance themselves in that region for the top seed. Another big result, Perry came back against Baldwin. They remain undefeated. They got a big clash coming up with Spalding, who had a big win tonight as well.
And moving forward to our next set of scores, Sandy Creek, Carver, Atlanta. It's a good game every single year. Sandy Creek takes the reins this year. They're in another one of those regions where really anything could happen. Cedar Grove, a team that if you look at their record, it doesn't look like they're performing that well, but they play one of the hardest out-of-region schedules in the entire state, and it's to prepare them for region play like Douglas. They come out tonight on top 41-0.
Yeah, that entire region's so battle-tested. You had Carver, Atlanta playing Calhoun earlier. Sandy Creek's battled the Westlakes, all those teams. So that game came down to the final play, and then Cedar Grove, they're 3-5 now. They beat a great Douglas team like that, and I feel like the defense has finally clicked and turned the corner because they were giving up a lot of points early on to some of these powerhouses, but a shutout to open up region play. Watch out for the Saints.
Well, like you said, we're at that point in the season where region play is beginning, and wow, we've gotten a lot of good games on our hands, a lot of good games tonight, but let's go ahead and start looking forward to next week. It is our high school Hall of Fame game. We are headed to Kell High School to watch Greater Atlanta Christian take on the Longhorns. What do you know about the matchup? What can we expect?
I think with Kell, what's impressed me so much, they lose Bryce Clavin for that early non-region schedule, and then offensively they have really looked good, and we saw them week 1 against Parkview. Parkview built a big lead, but really if you watch that game, Kell almost came back. A couple tip balls defensively, a couple turnovers, they would have had a chance to bring it within a score. I really like Kell. They're my dark horse in 5A.
Well, super exciting things going on next week. Make sure you keep up with us at Score Atlanta all week long. And as always, from myself, Craig Sager, Rusty Mansell, Brandon Adams, IJ Rosenberg, Roddy White, and so many others, we wish you good night, and we will see you right back here on the Peachtree Sports Network next Friday, 8 o'clock. Don't miss it.